Welcome to LoganRobo's channel, broadcasting live on twitch.tv/LoganRobo and on youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Tonight's game is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit. So, if Miles Edgeworth is a prosecutor, does that mean the people he prosecutes are prosecutees? That certainly explains why chat is always so thirsty, because every chapter has plenty of prosecutees. Thanks for tuning in to twitch.tv/LoganRobo and youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Please enjoy the stream.
Hello there, Mr. Kicker. Your rent is due, else we are taking forever.
And we are live! How is everybody doing? Weedle, thank you so much for re-upping the sub and using your Prime sub. And I don't think I agreed to have Pepper be my collateral. If you rent, do you even have collateral? I feel like your residence is already your collateral. But how you doing, Weedle? Hang on, I got a cough for a second. Still got that lingering post-nasal drip. Hopefully that'll go away eventually. Extemporaneous was here bright and early before the stream with a lurk and a random Transformers check. Midnight Express. Who is Bro and why is Bro sound like a train? Because Bro is a train. Bro is one of three guys that form an even larger Transformer who is train themed. Oddly enough, he was a Japanese original character. And they've had like two train combiner characters. They seem to love their trains in Japan. Extemporaneous also has a would you rather. Would you rather have unlimited time or unlimited money? I feel like, okay, assuming unlimited time is like actually that like you don't age while you're using your unlimited time power or something like that, I would say unlimited time. Because if you have a good enough work ethic, you can always convert time into money. And so yeah, unlimited time, but you can't always convert money into time. In fact, you often can't. So yeah, unlimited time. Extemporaneous, how you doing? Thank you for the lurk. Omari, how you doing? It's been a little while. How you doing? Said I went to a play today. What play did you go see? Did you have fun? But how are you doing, Omari? Bumbo says hi. We'll be just listening, playing Metopia as Oops All supporters. I love the Oops All format for things that Captain Crunchberries started, but I hope you're having fun playing Metopia, Bumbo. Thank you so much for the lurk. There was Weedle re-up in the sub. Queen Katie says howdy. Was clipping something last minute from an old VOD, which thankfully is for this stream. Well, now I'm curious. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. Over on YouTube, we already got some people here. We got Dermo saying hi. How you doing, Dermo? Thanatos saying hello. How you doing, Thanatos? Jax saying let's go. Jax, thanks again for hanging out so much during last Metaphor stream over on YouTube, for holding down the fort there. How are you doing? Thanatos says I'm finally free of tests and essays. Yay, congratulations. So are you done for like the whole summer then? Congratulations. And Derma says, I'd like unlimited time, but not immortality. That'd be horrifying. What if you had, like, conditional immortality, where the condition is that once you're kind of done with it, you can say, okay, from here on out, I'll be mortal. Because I think for the most part, I mean, yeah, there'd be a lot of things that suck, seeing everybody you know and love growing old and dying before you, but there would also be the capacity to accomplish so much. I think it would just get bad when like 5 billion years from now, like, you know, the sun fizzles out and the earth dies and you're just like on this cold rock with no like breathable air or water, but you're still like stuck alive. Then at that point it's like, okay, maybe now it's time to die. Bubba says, unlimited time. I can make unlimited time into unlimited money. See, that's what I'm saying. Because like I have enough work ethic that I could do that. The problem is managing time. So I agree, Bumbo. Weedle says, I'm about to stream so I can get affiliate. I just need to stream more often. Well, go for it, Weedle. I hope it goes well. What do you play? You playing some Yu-Gi-Oh, some Pokemon? Okay, let's go ahead and load up the game and we'll recap where we left off last time, if I can remember it. I'm not sure. So last time we finally finished all the stuff with Excelsius and having to basically reprove that he was the auctioneer and getting Verity to go along with it, showing that Sean was safe. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of that kind of felt like filler. Like they needed this chapter to be longer because it was the final one. I mean, it had some fun stuff to it, but it was very much the president of a foreign nation has died. Here's the mystery, Whoops, gotta take a detour. But we're back to this, and now Lang is accusing both Verity Gavel and Sean of being the murderers together, of collaborating. Now, Sean has been my #1 suspect lately. I've suspected that maybe he's not really a kid. He's just an adult pretending to be a kid with stunted growth. That's why he's always drinking the milk or whatever. I'm probably wrong about that, especially if Lang is accusing him. Usually, if the rival character accuses somebody early on... Thank you, Weedle, for the Tomcat. I will read some more chat in a second. I'm just almost done recapping, but thank you. But yeah, usually when the rival character accuses someone early on, it's like, okay, that person can't be. Not always, as we remember from a certain client that Phoenix Wright had, but usually that's the case. However, he still could be, and maybe that'll be the twist. But if it's not him, my second and third options were either Simeon Saint or Tabby Lloyd. And the more I think about it, I think it might be Tabby Lloyd. So the top 2 suspects in my mind are still Sean, Tabby, and Simeon Saint, in third place. Not a really distant third, but a distant third. So that's where I'm at right now. So what happened most recently is Lang was saying that maybe Gavel pushed the president off the roof of the big building, and then Sean was down the bottom to unlock the movie set lot here next door to let her in, and that they hid the body inside of the Taurosaurus suit. However, we just looked inside, and there's all sorts of dirt in there. Well, it looks like some chunks of maybe concrete or something, but the characters haven't addressed that yet. But the president's body was relatively dirt-free except for some yellow mustard, question mark, on him. So we're still going with that. But let me read a couple more comments, then we will start the game. Omari says, I saw the Ain't Too Proud, the Temptations play at the National Theater. I am not familiar with that one, but it sounds good. I mean, the Temptations music is good. I once saw one of those type of musicals where it's like about real life musicians, and so all the songs are their songs. It was about like Buddy Holly and Big Bopper and was it Ricky Valance? The 3 musicians that all died in that plane crash at the same time. Hang on. Moro Prisonero 27. Did you change your name to this? Who'd you used to be? He said hi. Valtube's Twitch account, in case you forgot. Thank you for reminding me. I gotta remember your Valtube. Valtube! How you doing over on Twitch now? And Weedle says, ooh, the Binding of Isaac. I've never played that before. So how is everybody? Extemporaneous, Bumbo, Weedle, Queen Katie, Omari, Valtube, then over on YouTube, Dermo, and Thanatos, and Jax. How is everybody? Oh, and a couple more YouTubes comment, then we'll start the game here. Thanatos says, yes! Dermo says, well, that's perfect. Just not life till the end of existence itself. So yeah, that's, like, yeah, because once, like, everything is gone, then, like, why keep existing? Then it is just pain. But I feel like to keep going, like, as long as you really, really want to, like, there's so much that I think a human would be capable of doing if a human could live forever. Jack says, what a reliable viewer I am. You are, Jax. Okay, let me have a sip of water. Gonna open up my water bottle, and then we're gonna start the game and see what is happening here. And just to remind myself, Queen Katie, we are on the third page of your notes, your guide thing that you have, that you've been keeping track how far we are, right? 3 out of how many? Was it 5 or 6? So I guess we still got a long way to go. How did all that dirt get inside there? Based on the videotape, there may well have been somebody in the suit at the time. So who was it if it wasn't the president? Come on, Kay, think. Where was that? Is something the matter, Kay? I've seen dirt like that somewhere else, I'm sure of it. It's gonna be on the gloves, right? It's gonna be on Excelsius Winner's gloves, I bet? I just can't think where. Dirt with weird little gray bits in it. Maybe the word death spelled out with strange finger impressions. Wait. So was Excelsius Winner hiding in this suit? What? No, we can see a dirt on his hands. Okay. Gray bits. She's right. There's something mixed in there. It was stuck to something else we looked at.
lots of it. But I gotta be vague, because if I say the answer, then the player doesn't feel accomplished.
But unfortunately, that makes Kay seem stupid. But she's not. She's not stupid. She's just rambunctious. Stuck to something we looked at. An item of evidence, maybe. It's probably worth checking. Does one of the items we found have a similar kind of dirt stuck to it? Yeah, you know what? And it doesn't matter that I didn't save yet. We're just gonna do it. It's the gloves. It's the gloves. As Kay pointed out, the dirt in the suit contains small flecks of something gray. And it's gonna be chunks of concrete. Yeah?
And?
We discovered similar flecks stuck to an item belonging to somebody we recently had dealings with. I still forgot. I need to check to see if somewhere on the lot, because we had a wide shot, I forgot to look if there's a planter, because that was the thing. Fifi Lagarde was talking to Excelsius Winter about unearthing something next to a planter, and I still think that the 3 kaiju footprints might have been camouflage for one of them trying to access the dirt and dig something up. I know we're only 10 minutes into stream, but let me read a couple more comments already, because I'm already getting behind, and also I really missed you guys yesterday. Let's see. Quickity said, oh yeah, highly recommend Date Everything now. I'm obsessed with the magnifying glass now. And it even has a feature to skip some icky stories like toxic relationships, abuse, etc. I should look up and find out how long of a game that is. Do we know about how long a playthrough is? Because maybe that's what we'll do next. Maybe we'll do Deltarune and then some Date Everything. I assume Date Everything is the long game, so that might be a nice little stopgap game before we play like another big game there. Maybe. Omari says, it was amazing. I cried hearing about all the original 5 dying except for Otis. I didn't know they were all I mean, I guess that makes sense because they were, when was the Temptations? Like the 70s, the 60s, something like that? I guess that was a long time ago. But I'm sorry that they died. I just don't think about music, stuff like that. But I'm glad you had such a good time, Omari. Valtube says, anyone know how close we are to the Masterminds reveal? I have no idea. You'll have to ask either, probably Queen Katie, I think. Over on YouTube, Valtube says, I'm on YouTube. Valtube, you're both places. You're being a super viewer. Dermo says, good, bought a banjo. Not something I could say often. Have I mentioned before? I know I mentioned before. I don't know if you were here when I said before, Dermo. I want to buy a banjo and I want to learn to play a banjo. I kind of want to get a Russian tenor banjo, but I think it's more expensive if you want to get a fancy thing. I've looked online and you can find a cheap banjo for like, not too much. But then every time I Google like Russian tenor banner, it's like $300, $400, something like that. But awesome. I hope you do well learning to play it. Speaking of playing things, we have a game. We could play just a little bit more. We discovered similar flecks stuck to an item belonging to somebody we recently had dealings with. The item in question being these gloves.
You're right. The dirt does look similar, but so what? What are you saying this stuff is? What exactly are these gray flecks of yours?
I believe the gray flecks are plastic, concrete, or paint. They're the concrete. See, I'm so confident in this, I don't even need to save scum yet. I will need to, I'm sure. Surely they're flecks of concrete?
Oh, like all the broken up bits around the footprints, you mean?
Exactly. And who did the gloves on which we found similar dirt and gray flecks belong to?
Chairman Winter! We found them in his garage.
That's right, we visited the garage at his home earlier today, and we found a pair of mechanics gloves covered in dirt. And if I recall correctly, a sledgehammer and a shovel, too, for breaking concrete and digging. We should have checked to see if they had dirt on them. Why would a pair of mechanics gloves be covered in dirt? I'll tell you why, because somebody wore them while they used that hammer and shovel. They smashed through the concrete to the dirt below, staining the gloves with both substances. But then why were they inside the costume, though? I mean, okay, maybe whatever he dug up before, maybe like Excelsius Winter wasn't hiding in the suit, but maybe he dug something up and stashed it in the suit. That would explain why it was covered with like dirt and concrete as well. So it wasn't a person hiding, it was just there. Maybe? I don't know. Quick get his head. I will say, though, I was talking to an adorable character in the game, and my power went out right as we were almost done with the talk. Crying face. I Again, I'm not like huge on the art style, but I mean, a character's personality can win me over. Quigator said nowhere near, sadly. This is only page 3 of 5 for the guide for this case. Aww. I'm thirsty for some reason today. Omari said to Queen Katie, I saw the temperature while in the car with my brother. What is the temperature there? It actually got really cool yesterday. Then it was hot again today. Valtube says, I am Valtube, and I'm fine. Oh, you're like, apologize. I'm Valtube, and I'm fine. Bubba says to Weedle, Isaac is awesome. And I am very well. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear that both of you are doing well. Let's play a little bit more here. They smashed through the concrete to the dirt below, staining the gloves with both substances. Wait, so you're saying? Yes, that we finally know what these footprints really are. It seems highly likely that they were dug by Chairman Winner!
Highly likely? Ha!
If that's so, then tell me this. He's gonna ask, like, why he did it. I'm gonna save, because we're probably gonna have to present evidence of why, but I'm guessing the evidence ought to be the correspondence between Lagarde and Winner about unearthing the package or whatever it was that the two of them called it.
Why the heck did he make them? What purpose could they possibly serve?
Why, indeed. I imagine he must have been digging something up, burying something. He's digging something up! I think he must have been digging something up. I feel really good. Like, the game is already in the first 20 minutes asked me 3 questions, and I've got them right easy. I haven't gotten stumped once, game. I imagine events unfolded somewhat like this. There was something on this lot that he needed to unearth. In order to do so, he cut the chain on the side entrance and gained access from there. He then used the sledgehammer and shovel to dig 3 footprints. Dig, 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 dig. That's the sound of him digging. See? Then he went over here. Dig, 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 dig. Shovels make the sound dig. Be quiet. Dig, 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 dig. When he found what he was looking for, he bagged it up and filled in all the holes. Ah, but then Sean must have showed up, right? I think he did, yes. Chairman Winner would have had to find a hiding place, and the Taurosaurus suit provided just that. Okay, so he didn't stash it. He actually was hiding, but he was hiding from Sean because Sean popped out, and then when Sean hang on, when we look at the security camera footage, does the suit change? Oh, wrong button. Does the suit change at all? Between the two? No, it's the same. Sean there, and then anything else on the ground? I don't really see any difference. I feel like that we're gonna at some point take this in and have like Emma Sky brighten it up, and we'll see something over here in the darkness.
Yeah. You got all that from a pair of dirty gloves? It's good, but it's all just speculation. We don't have any proof that he was inside that suit. He could have dug those holes and gotten out of here before the kid even showed up.
Again, why are we not searching for like hairs in there? DNA. Objection! But he didn't, and there's proof of that right there in the footage. Is it that the suit didn't move? It shows that Chairman Winner was still present when the recording was made. Because it's unzipped?
What?
It's a shame that Agent Lang didn't notice it himself. Oh, hang on. I said I was gonna do this. Oh, crap! I was gonna do something, so I wasn't paying attention to what we were looking at. Wait, hang on. So what's the history? What did we say right there? But if we compare the situation as we see it now to the situation as it appears on Sean's rehearsal tape, yeah, the difference is this is unzipped now and it's zipped up in the present. And compare that in turn to what we saw in Chairman Winner's garage. I don't know, my British accent is fake. It soon becomes clear that the chairman was present. Why are we looking at... Oh, because of this thing! Because of this bag! Cree Clover. Because nobody else has bought one of those bags before. What part of this image shows us that Chairman Winner was still here? The Cree Clover. Tap, tap, tap. Look at the bag next to the Taurosaurus suit. We saw the same bag in Chairman Winner's garage.
Ah.
The same bag, the dirt on the gloves. That has to indicate a connection, surely. Mechanics glove data updated in my organizer. Excelsius Winner wore these when digging the monster footprints. I think that pretty much seals it. It was Excelsius Winner in the suit. I mean, unless he lent the gloves to somebody else also, you know. There are certain items of clothing I would obviously not share with people. Gloves are not what I'd share gloves with people unless their hands are gross. And if he was in there, the president's body can't have been. I should read some more in the chat while we're zipping through this. I mean, is Edgeworth moving forward quickly or is he just spinning? Let me have a sip of water. Let's see. Omari says, Queen Katie. I already read this. Or, sorry, I read that. Queen Katie said, yep, page 3 of 5, though according to my skimming, page 5 is just the final bout of cross-examinations, plus entire paragraph that the guide has, for some reason, decided to write down on that page, laying down every detail of the game story, due to the fact that the mastermind is, well, a mastermind. That sounds like it's going to be a long exposition dump, said I have no idea. I've somehow remained spoilerless about whatever ending the game has. Ooh. And Valtu with the little frowny face. Oh, wow. I'm actually almost caught up to Twitch chat already. This is unusual. Let me take a quick look over at the YouTube chat. Derma says, a good hour at least from the reveal. Oh, so then, okay. Now, are we talking like an hour in regular people playing time or me? Because, like, Logan time is 2.5 times at least as long as other people. If that's the case, maybe we'll get to the reveal by the end of the stream. Jack says, gaming in my LoganRobo's stream? Preposterous, indeed. We just have yapping and bad puns and occasionally weird jokes. Derma says, the type of banjo depends on what you want to play. 5 strings is for Appalachian/bluegrass music. 4 is used for jazz and Irish music. I love it all, but I love the sound of Irish music. So that's why I was thinking like an Irish tenor banjo. Lemon Grab, how you doing? Said I can't stay today, but I just wanted to say hi. Oh, Lemon Grab, were you able to at least see Lang? Because weren't you the one who was always asking, where's Lang, my beloved? So you can check out Lang. And Derma says, hi, Lemon. And then Derma says, also, the backstory is that I met one of my favorite bands, Yonder Boys, and the banjo player challenged me to learn it. Oh, that's cool. Jack says Edgeworth would be my pick to cast for a shovel. Derma says, oh my gosh, that pic of Sean in the light looking like Andy breaking out of Shawshank. And at least he wasn't covered in poo like Andy Dufresne. I've never actually seen Shawshank Redemption, but that, like Die Hard, they fall in the category of movies I've never seen, but I've seen enough parodies of them that I feel as though I have seen them. Like, have any of you guys had movies like that? Derma says, if he was moving forward quickly, he'd be miles away by now. ... Miles. I like it. High five for that pun. Opinion saying hello. How you doing, Opinion? Jack says, all I remember is the case being long, although that goes for any AA final case. I gotta say, the first investigation game, I loved that game, but that final case with Ambassador Alba, oh my gosh, that took forever. Our final stream for that was like, all right, we gotta be close to the end. We'll keep going a little bit, keep going a little bit, keep going a little bit. We were, I think it was like just shy of, was it just shy of 6 hours or 7 hours? It was a long stream because I just like, the end's gotta be here. And then it was this whole sunken cost fallacy where I've been in here so long, I just gotta keep going. Let's see, Derma says, hi, Opinion. And Jack says, hi, Opinion. Okay, let's play a little bit more and then we'll be back to the chats. I'll be back to Twitch chat and then YouTube chat. But again, I'm doing really well staying caught up in the Twitch chat at the moment. And if he was in there, the president's body can't have been. I don't know why this type of thing just feels like a Dale Gribble kind of reaction. Like he's threatened, immediately pulls out karate chops. Good. It seems I've convinced Agent Lang of the flaws in his theory. Somebody get to Chairman Winter's house right now. We don't need to hurry. The dude's in prison. Well, except he has goons. He has goons and lackeys. And then Tabby Lloyd. Again, it's one of these two. It's either Sean or Tabby. Or maybe the two of them working together. Maybe Sean is triplets and Tabby is just 2 Sean stacked on each other. I don't know. We need to know what's in that bag. Yes, sir. Huh? Y'all done lost your minds? I can't believe what I'm hearing here. What is this hog swell? Lotta, just go away. Just go away, Lotta. We don't need whatever you're saying, even if it's important, somebody else will come up with it. Unless she's gonna say anybody could have bought a bag like that. Sigh, this is all we need. Them right there's Taurosaurus footprints dying yet. Ain't no holes dug by no old guy. I think I've demonstrated more than adequately that that's exactly what they are. Don't matter to me none what you just done did. I don't believe it, and that's that. Oh, you know what I just realized? You know who Lotta Heart is? Because I've been thinking about Danganronpa quite a bit lately since, of course, you got Nora and Oak playing it. I think the two of them are over playing it right now as we speak. Lotta Heart is this game's hero from Danganronpa, who'll just come up with some preposterous thing like, oh, what if it's a ghost? And then it's like, it's not. Crap, now we gotta spend like a half hour explaining why it's not a ghost, why it's not a monster. I done told you, I seen that big bad bull with my own two eyes. The giant eye appearing in at the window. I thought we'd gotten past that.
I have to.
Oh, speaking of Nora and Oak, and speaking of Danganronpa,
I can't let whoever.
there's a thing there. I should probably. Looks like that has spoilers for chapter 3 in it. So I need to zonk that out of there, because that happens sometimes. I'm trying to be more mindful of that. But yeah, speaking of Danganronpa. But wait, do we have a mod here? Oh, it's Crystal! Crystal, how are you doing? Crystal, I know you said it happens a lot, but what you were describing about your chest pains yesterday made me very concerned about you. I'm worried that you had like a heart attack or something. Are you okay, Crystal? I need to know that you're okay. Oh, Nora raided with a party of 7! We were just talking about you. Thank you for the raid. Hey, Crystal, can we try another shout out? We just did one for you, but it was a Danganronpa spoiler, so I had to turn it off for a second. Crystal, can we do a new shout out clip? And then I'll say hi to the raiders and catch up some more in the chat. How was Danganronpa? You're in chapter 4 now. Yes, I think. All right, let's see what clip shows up.
I might as well get started reading it, right? Ah!
Oh, it's Yuri. I miss Natsuki. Anytime Natsuki's on screen, I miss Natsuki. Yuri was very uncomfy. Yuri made me feel very, very unsafe in that game.
Nora.
Even more than Monica, Yuri made me feel uncomfortable. But how was the stream? And with 7 people, so if there's anybody new that we haven't met before in Nora's raid, let me introduce myself real quick. Hi, my name is Logan. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We are currently alternating between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor Refantasio, a great JRPG from the makers of the Persona series. This is the final case in this game, so if you're planning on playing it and you want to avoid spoilers, totally understandable if you need to duck out, but it's a lot of fun. It's a visual novel murder mystery where we play as the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth trying to track down murderers and things like that. Oh, a follow from Flowey to Flow. Oh crap, Flow. Are you the Flowey from Undertale? Is it kill or be killed in this world? But welcome, thank you for the follow. I hope that means you liked what I was saying. Like, I don't know, my vibe, something like that. But also, for any new people such as Flowey, again, thank you so much. I do read every comment in chat. I'm just sometimes very far behind. Actually, I haven't been very far behind tonight, so let me read some comments in the chat. Queen Katie says, Pat, as long as you're good about spoilers, we can wait nicely for the day. Okay, here's my last minute spoiler clip. Oh, here's a spoiler clip. Because I want to read some stuff from the raid, I'm going to copy this down and we're going to read a few raid comments first. Then we're going to check out the spoiler clip, so we will get to it, Queen Katie. And there's Kim saying, Streamly check-in. Hope everyone's doing at least okay-ish today. Stay hydrated, y'all. Thank you very much. I'll do that right now. Thank you, Kim. Hope you're having a great night. Or morning. I can't remember what time it is in Germany right now. Queen said, BRB gotta pee. Good luck beating up Lang so he doesn't beat up a child. Crystal does a shout out for Nora. Nora said, Nora is raiding in. Oak said, Nora's raiding in. Crystal saying, oh, Queen says, I'm back. Combat Dummy 326. Oh, wait, was there did you guys have like an Undertale Deltarune theme going on today? Because that's another Undertale character, right? The Combat Dummy? Like, Actually, I don't know if Nora's played Delta or Undertale before, so I probably shouldn't say too much about that type of thing. But welcome, Combat Dummy. You're a delightful character in Undertale. I gotta play Deltarune Chapter 3 soon, so please don't do any spoilers about it. Quickity said, whoa, raid! Flowey says, I'm having a heart attack. Please be safe. Flowey, if you're having a heart attack, consult medical professionals immediately. Having a heart attack too. Well, do flowers have heart attacks? Oak said, what were you talking about? What did we do? I was just talking about, actually the thing I was gonna talk about is something that, it was a Danganronpa thing. I was alluding to something in chapter 5 of Danganronpa in relation to, I think I had an epiphany as to why I don't like Lada. So I'm not gonna say what it is. Combat Dummy with a clip there said titled, you should. Oh, is this from Nora's stream? What happened in Nora's stream? It looks like a picture of, is that Alter Ego down there? Crystal said, Logan said Lada is Danganronpa's hero because it's dumb. Flower says, suffer. Nora said, I loved Yuri, she was fun. Flowey says, I'm the new guy. Welcome, new guy, new flower. Combat Dummy says, yo. And Flowey says, that's me. Nora said, this is no longer my chat. Quickity said, oh yeah, while more peeps are here, I have ice cream, please, help. I have ice cream, help, please. Chocolate or banana fudge. Well, I usually say chocolate. Oh, but banana fudge sounds real good right about now. Nora said chocolate. Flowey says yes. Well, you can have chocolate. Can I have some banana fudge? Let me take a look over in the YouTube chat real quick. Let's see. Opinion says hi. Valtube says Sean being triplets and Tabby being 2 Seans is the best theory ever. Oh yeah. Okay, Nora, that was my new theory that I have. Tabby Lloyd is 2 more Seans in triplets of Sean stacked on each other's shoulders. Jack said, Logan, what happened to the robot theory? You know, everyone can always be robots at any given time. Just assume everyone we see are robots. Although I'm already still in love with Ponko the robot from Dual Destinies in this series. Ponko is beautiful. Ponko is wonderful. Have you guys played Dual Destinies? Google Ponko. You'll see. She's great. Thanatos said Tabby Lloyd, more like Stabby Lloyd. Valtube says the triplets are robots. Opinion says the rest of this case is very good, but I still spend the whole time missing Eustace. They're doing their own important thing, but I miss them. That was a great conclusion to his character arc. So it was wonderful. Opinion. Jack says, oh, some gasping emotes. And said, don't worry, Logan. Lesbian anime makes me feel uncomfortable as well. No, her name was Yuri, but she's probably into Yuri as well. Durma says, do flowers have heart attacks? Logan, they don't have hearts. Exactly. So what's there to attack? Huh? Their stamen? Their pistil? Those aren't hearts. Those are reproductive organs that may be powered by the heart, but also powered by something else too. We got a new person here. The Devil from the Bible saying hello there. Oh, Devil from the Bible. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of your work. You've done some bad things.
We didn't have an Undertale theme, but we got a bunch of new friends last stream doing Gardic Phone, and they liked Undertale.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, did I talk over the boo? I'm sorry. Thank you for the 10 bits, Oak. Well, just so you know, Flowey and Combat Dummy, if you're still both there, maybe you've taken off by now. If you need to leave, I totally understand. If you are still there, we will probably be playing Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 relatively soon. By relatively, I mean, I don't know, maybe like a month, something like that. But I'm looking forward to it. But how are you doing, Devil? Jack says, you've clearly never felt affection for a flower. Oh, from a flower. Devil says, oh, goodbye now. You're leaving. I mean, I guess that's good that the Devil's leaving. It was nice meeting you. Jack says, why Ponko? Because she is lovely and adorable. The Devil says, see you when you're 95. You know what? Actually, that's a good run. That's a good run. Although I'm worried why the Devil would see me. I try to be a good person. I'm gonna have to read some more of the chat in a minute, but first thing we gotta do, Queen Katie posted a spoiler clip. Sorry if anyone's lurking and wanting to see gameplay, but we gotta talk to the chat sometimes. So for those who are lurking or with the raid or who just don't know, we have a thing in this channel called spoiler clips, which Queen Katie's really good about doing these usually. A couple other people also help out sometimes. What it is anytime I do something in a stream that either guesses correctly, guesses incorrectly, or accidentally foreshadow or something in that vein, then Queen Katie makes a spoiler clip to show it off later when it is revealed. And Queen Katie posted one, so apparently I'm guessing this is either from last stream. Oh crap, it's saying, it's giving the video download was canceled. Please try again, error. It won't load up. See, I'll show you right here on the clip viewer. I'm so sorry, Queen Katie, so we can't watch it. I'm sure it's delightful, but I guess we have to get back to the game. I'm disappointed. We have to play the game. Queen Katie, I'm sorry, but I am behind now on both Twitch and YouTube, but I'll read some more soon.
The devil wants you because you didn't post the core 253 clip on TikTok.
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason why I didn't post that, Oak. Because it paints me in a bad light. But think of the 10 bits. Oh, no, I gotta mention to you, by the way. So this morning, as you saw, I posted the full clip on TikTok of the ending reaction for Persona 3 Reload. However, for some reason, TikTok wasn't showing it to anybody. Like, I checked back in 3 hours later, and it had shown it to like 28 people was all. And it occasionally does that. And I'm sure there was something in there. Maybe it was because of the length, because it was really long. I posted the full like 6+ minutes. So I took that down and I uploaded the 3-minute version that's all chopped up and edited nice and short, and that's doing great. But I saw that you had commented on the 6-minute version, so your comment is no longer visible in the one that's public because it's the 3-minute version. I'm so sorry, but your comment was funny because it was a duty joke. So I'm sorry. I don't know if you have to go back and do the comment all over again. I'm sorry, but now it's nice and tight because it's only 3 minutes long. So thank you for the comment though. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's play some game and then I'll be back to the chat and catch up some more. And thank you again, Flowey, for the follow. I really appreciate that. The giant eye peering in at the window. I thought we'd gotten past that nonsense. Well, clearly she saw something. The question is whether it was actually an eye, like a prop that was an eye, or she mistook it like an eye because she's also kind of like a Larry Butt sometimes.
We ain't about to let that go. What kind of journalists would we be if we did, huh?
Responsible ones! But I guess that's the whole problem.
Wait, ain't like it was just about the footprints no how. You were seen fraternizing with one of them there monsters, ain't that correct, young man?
But again, that's just the camera crane draped in the tarp to protect it from the rain. Why? Why? This is why Tabby is hero.
By the young lady over there, if I'm not very much mistaken.
We're never going to get anywhere with these two around. Just have them arrested or killed. Tabby might be the mastermind. You might accidentally get an early win.
Maybe if we could prove to them that wasn't a monster either, they'd finally might drop it. What do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Any bright ideas?
Well, I'm going to save in case he's going to have to present some evidence because I don't know a piece of evidence will immediately prove that. I would think the fact that monsters don't exist ought to be enough evidence at the get-go. Prove that it wasn't a monster? Fine. I don't suppose there's much else for it. Let's see what we can do.
What are you two whispering about? Y'all are hiding something, ain't you? Admit it! Quick, Tabby, roll tape!
Hold it!
Could I politely ask that you both calm down? The monster the boy was seen talking to, we know what it was now.
Huh?
That's right. Sean's rehearsal tape finally cleared up that particular mystery. Okay, so hopefully we won't have evidence. It'll just like be multiple choice and I'll say it's the camera.
Huh. You did?
The point at which Ms. Nichols thought she saw Sean with Gordy. That would have been right when he was making his rehearsal tape. I think she mistook a certain object for the legendary creature of the lake. Okay, yeah, this. Oh, and then we point to it in this photo. Oh, Penny. Penny. I love you, Penny. I love you so much, Penny. Head pats, head pats, head pats. Penny. 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 You beautiful Penny. Penny. Your so-called monster is right here in this picture.
Huh? I don't see no Gordy. That ain't nothing but a dumb snapshot. You're talking to a pro here. Can't fool me with no trick photography.
What was Ms. Nichols' Gordy, really? It's gonna be the camera. Camera!
Take that!
At least that was relatively quick and relatively painless. That's right. It was a certain camera crane. That's what Miss Nichols saw, not Gordy. Okay, so now we're past that. I'll read a few more comments in the chat because I'm already behind again. Flowey says, haha, run! Flowey, no, you just got here. You're my new friend. Quicket said, thank you, salute, you are a real one. To Nora. Nora said, combat dummy is from Gardic yesterday, and Flowey just showed up today. Well, either way, you got some Undertale friends. Flowey said, no, I just like Undertale. Well, it's a good game. It's a good thing to like. Oak said, I went to a protest earlier today, and one of the organizers was asking if people would be okay with being interviewed. Did you get interviewed? Are you on the televisions now? Nora said, I still haven't played Undertale. Crystal says Nora hasn't played Undertale or Deltarune. You should play Undertale, Nora. Oak said, so I may end up being on their social media, I guess? Yes, Nora is supposed to play Undertale after Omori. Nora said, the Kyoko and Celeste bit is somehow escalating. Oak said, because even though they are not related, they're still actually quite similar. Yeah, because they're like, Undertale's like a spiritual successor, or excuse me, Deltarune's like a spiritual successor to Undertale. I think you should still play one before the other, personally. Plus, you get familiar with a lot of the background characters and things like that. Quicket said, mindly teleports banana fudge. Don't slip on it, Logan. Thank you. I won't. Does that mean it's on the floor? Oh, there it is. There it is. Thank you. Nora said, Logan, did you see my Kyoko and Celeste drawings? Both of them recently, because they took far too long. I saw the one you showed in the last stream. Is there another one? Let me take a look over in YouTube. Crystal says, hello, Devil. Bye, Devil. Quigator said, opinion. I was just thinking about you last stream. Do you happen to have Discord? If so, do you want to join the spoiler chat Discord that a majority of it are Twitch-based lol? Crystal says, laughing. Jack says, Shadow, it's me, the Devil. Oh, crap. What is that from? Is that another one of the Square Cube things? Wait, no. Is that what it's called? Square Cube? I always get the name wrong. Crystal says, I love your name, the Devil from the Bible. Is it a reference from Sonic fandom? Oh, is that not just the Devil from the Bible? It's a Sonic. The Devil from the Bible is a Sonic reference? Is that what we're saying? Quigator said, I was thinking you'd be so fun for the spoiler chat lol, and we have roles so you don't have to be spoiled by any unwanted games. Jack says, quote, I'm here to convince you to sin. Derma said, wasn't expecting to meet the devil so soon. Derma said, usually you have to die first. Opinion says, I do have Discord, but I'm hesitant to join since unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be watching Logan much after this game ends. Aw, the streams are a combo of being late and high energy, so it needs to be a game I really like to be worth watching. It's totally understandable. I'd love it if you stuck around, but here's the thing. I love making friends, but I've long since come to terms with the fact that after I finish playing games, okay, I'm the type of streamer people watch for the games that I play. There are a handful of people who will watch whatever games we play, but a lot of people, most people, it's dependent on the game. So understandable. If you change your mind, I'd love to have you hang out because you seem awesome. Devil says, no, just to be clear, me and the big guy both see you to debate where you go. Oh, well, I'm glad the big guy is fighting for me. And Jack says, Devil, do you love Radical Highway? Toby, how you doing? Said, do the angels place bets, Mr. Devil? And Opinion says, I really appreciate the offer, though. And Devil says, yes, they do. I'm going to have to read some more on both chats in a little bit. I need to play some game, have a sip of water, and then we'll get back into it. That is what Ms. Nichols saw, not Gordy. What? Sean's rehearsal tape was shot from a noticeably elevated viewpoint. A viewpoint that would only have been possible if the camera in question was attached to a crane. Ball, how the heck would she make a mistake like that, huh? Because the tarp. How indeed, Miss Nichols? Yes, I'm still here and I'm still adorable. You told us that you think you might need new glasses, didn't you? Yeah, my eyesight got way worse all of a sudden. And I imagine that when you thought you saw Gordy, he was quite heavily shrouded in darkness. That's right! I only really saw a silhouette. But you done told us. Skin like an enormous worm, you said. Y'all about to try and tell us your precious crane up and grew skin somehow? Again, I'm sorry, their voices are so similar. I didn't know they'd both be in the same scenes. Ain't even no flesh on them there metal bones, let alone skin. You're entirely correct, of course, about the crane as it was in this particular picture anyway. But it did have a skin of sort last night. I knew you were a scoop hater, but this is plumb crazy. You want Tabby and me to starve, is that it? That wasn't my intention at all, but I wouldn't mind it. Just saying, I wish you two were dead. Does that make me a bad person? But I do think it's time I finally put them both out of their misery. That's right. Edgeworth packs heat. Gordy's skin is right here in front of us. It wasn't skin at all. It was this. Wow, we're having like a lot of things where the game is asking us obvious, easy questions. I feel like it's buttering me up, tricking me into thinking like, oh, you're smart, you know what's going on, then it's gonna stump me later. Ms. Nichols told us that it seemed likely to rain last night. That never happened in the end. But I think Sean may have covered the crane with rain-proof sheeting nonetheless. And that, my intrepid young reporters, is what Ms. Nichols mistook for Gordy's skin. Wow! I forgot about her bear traps. I should read some more in the chat again. Let's see, Flowey says, I'm still here. Oh, I'm glad you're still here, Flowey. Because I understand, like, when people come in from other raids, sometimes been like, I just watched 3 hours of a stream. I'll follow because you're nice, but I don't want to stick around. So as long as you're able to be here, we'd love to have you, Flowey. Nora said, no. Flowey said, oh, definitely soon. Nora said, I got some Beyblades from Goodwill today. Nice. I've never played Beyblades, but they look cool. Queegata said, no, not again. I hate the Twitch curse so much. Why does it happen? I don't know. I haven't been able to figure it out, but whenever that happens, it's like, it's not even just the Twitch view. I've tried to like watch later and from going to the clips page, and I can never get it to work. Queegata said, why? I literally had just clipped it before Logan went live. Sobs. I don't know. I'm sorry, Queen Katie. Oak said, what did I even comment? On the TikTok video, I think it was something about like, you know, you're crying, you're laughing through the tears because duty or something like that. As I think Iga said something about it is my duty. I don't know if I edited that part out when I trimmed it down to 3 minutes though. Nora said, does anyone have a Beyblade stick I can have? Wait, did they use sticks? I thought they like use, oh, maybe you have it on the end of a stick and then you spin it on the string. I've never done it. Oak says no. Nora says boo. And then I say, ah. And then Oak says, look at you. You scared future Logan when he reads that. I did. Do you see how scared I was just there? Let me take a look over the YouTube chat real quick. Let's see. Queen Katie says, to Opinion, gotcha. Just wanted to at least make the offer. Opinion says, thank you for thinking of me. Crystal says, the TikTok comments about the clip were all hee another one bites the dust and kidding copium. That's fair. Jack says, dang, what a stacked and colorful chat. Way different from the metaphor YouTube chat. Indeed. This game does really well on YouTube for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm happy about it. Jack says, colorful. I'm great at sentencing. Oh, because you said chloral full. There we go. Chloral full. Crystal says, snap cube. That's what it was. Not square cube, snap cube. Because, well, cubes already are square. Durma says, oh, wait. Hang on. I got to scroll up a little bit. It scrolled down without me. It says, I thought Sonic is/or could kill God, though. Could he? I don't know. Jack says he's only the devil in the Snap Cube dub. Derma says, if there's a difference. Crystal said, plot armor. Crystal laughing. Jack says, Sonic on multiple occasions has killed godlike entities. Well, I guess that makes it less impressive that Super Mario has literally killed the sun. But he has killed the sun. But if I understand my cosmological hierarchy, I believe gods are above stars. Oh, and a pin message over here on Twitch, written by Rukov, pinned by Crystal, saying, Logan said, duty. How you doing, Rukov? How's the move coming along? Hope it's going well. Okay, let's play a little bit more, and then we'll be back to the chat in a minute. Oh, heck! Well, Sean, am I mistaken? You see everything, don't you? Gotta say, you're pretty amazing. Oh. Is that the first time Sean has said something nice to us? I'm sorry, Miss Hart, but Miss Nichols' monster is no such thing. It was simply a trick of the light. Sigh. And just like that, the dream dies. Again. Chief. Yeah, I think that may have finally shut them up, unless Tammy Lloyd ends up being the mastermind. If she does, I hope she doesn't have a southern accent anymore. I'll get the two of them confused when they're both talking. I thought the kid was holding out on us, but it seems my mind could have maybe been a little wrong, maybe? All right, we know what the so-called monster was now. Everybody happy? Everybody except these two. I laugh at their pain. Agent Lang! Oh, that was quick. Not as quick as Gumshoe in the first chapter, but it's quick. Okay, I wanted to check and see if there's a planter. I don't see a planter. Unless, like, the planter was inside. Because like I was saying before, maybe the digging up was that Fifi Lagarde mentioned a planter. Because that was what it was, right? If we take a look at the Statement. So do your bit 2 and retrieve the package we laid to rest 12 years ago. I'm sure it's still right in front of the planter where we left it. There might be planters on the roof. But you can't really dig on a roof. Well, no, there's a tree. There is a tree on the roof. There's a cherry tree. Oh, and Rukov with another pin message saying, we laugh at Logan's pain because it's his brand. I'm noticing a lot of things on my brand are not nice to me. Thank you, Rukov, for the pin message. I appreciate that. The president's autopsy report is out, sir. Voice cracked on that a little bit. Hopefully we won't have to wait too much longer then for the updated one. Okay, so this is gonna be important. This will let us know whether he actually died from being hit by something, from falling from somewhere, from maybe it was poison and just left out there and it's coincidental that the Torosaurus head fell on him.
It is? Let me see it.
Excuse me.
Death was due to full body contusions and bone breakages caused by extreme pressure from above.
I mean, that sounds like that could be falling or having been fallen upon. So is it the Torosaurus? How heavy is that head?
So we have our cause of death. He was crushed.
Just as we thought. President Wang's autopsy report dated jotted down my organ. Okay, so we're saying it's not possible that he fell. Which I think that makes sense. He would have splatted more, yeah? From 51 stories in the air? Cause of death, crushing. Time of death, April 5th, approximately 11 p.m. Wait, that'll be important. Crap, I think we don't have in our planner anymore the time card things for the prosecutorial committee chamber. But I think Gavel's card was used at, I want to say it was like 10:30 or something like that. But again, that might have been Sean swiping the card to swipe the card to do some murdering. I still think Sean might be involved.
Test results haven't come back from the yellow substance found on his chest, but they did find gunshot residue on his right hand.
Okay, so he fired a gun, so he shot back at somebody.
Gum shop residue? Guess he was a kid at heart, huh? Gum shop.
Gunshot residue, K. It's a substance left behind when a firearm is discharged. Its presence indicates that the president may have used a gun.
Really? But we didn't find a gun anywhere, did we?
Do you think the murderer stole his gun from him after he died? How dare the murderer! Indeed not, which makes the residue something of a riddle. We'll need to read that report carefully. Well, Agent Lang, that clears one thing up at least. Well, before we clear up that one thing, whatever it is, it's in the organizer, so yeah, let's read it in detail. Oh crap, where is it? Or was it just updated? Was it not added to our... Oh, I guess it wasn't... Huh? Where is it? I thought it... Okay. It said it was added. It was jotted down. Oh, it was on his body. It was updated with the body. That's what it was. President Wang's autopsy report. Here we go. Never mind. Gunshot residue detected on right hand. So that might be important if it's a right-handed, left-handed type of a thing. Flecks of yellow substance found stuck on clothing still undergoing analysis. We gotta take a closer look at Tabby. See if there's anything on her that could be like painted yellow, that like flecks of yellow paint might come off or something like that, huh?
Just got here.
Hey!
I sure hope you're not accusing children of murder again.
Okay, saying again, I think would imply that it's a new child we're accusing of murder. It is the same child I was accusing of murder last stream. But, okay, Tiff, first of all, Tiff, so good to see you. Thank you for the 10 bits. But I will say, as I've been thinking about this more between last stream and today, I'm starting to feel more suspicious of Tabby Lloyd. But I still feel like Sean is really sus too. Huh?
Jen.
Okay, yes. But, I mean, that was a long time ago. There's got to be a statute of limitations for accusing kids of murder. But when eventually the final part of Your Turn to Die is released, I will go right back to accusing Geen of being the, well, I never even accused him of murder. I accused him of being a traitor. You could be a traitor without being a murderer. Oh, and there's some stuff going on here and Twitch with pin stuff. Pin message of Crystal with quote 253. Again, we're talking about teeth, holes from dental operations, and a poll. What did Logan do to get the devil's attention? Be lonely, not clip quote 253, kick puppies, child endangerment, or everything about him. Go ahead and cast your votes. Does that mean... Oh, let's finish reading the autopsy report. Then I'll read some chat. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. Tiff, 20 bits, actually, Tiff. Thank you. Did you see... no, because you probably just got here. We'll see Gumshoe when we get back out to a wide shot. He's still there. He was stomping his foot earlier. It's great. Okay, so time of death, April 5th, approximately 11 p.m. Cause of death was due to full body contusions and bone breakages caused by extreme pressure from above. Yeah, is that Torosaurus head enough to do that? But again, I want to take a closer look at Tabby in a little bit to see if there's anything on her that could be... I mean, she's got like yellow on her parka. Maybe it's really old and it's flaking off? Maybe the whole thing was originally a red hoodie? I don't know. Well, Agent Lang, that clears one thing up at least. The president didn't die from a fall, which means he wasn't pushed from the roof of the big building. He was crushed by the falling Torosaurus head, just as we said he was. Is he gonna say that, like, falling could be crushing? I mean, that should clear up Verity from suspicion. Gabelle, yeah. Guess I have to accept that now. Fine, you were right. But what that means is that Sean was the one person on the scene that night and he very well could have done that. Yeah? Crap, this is awful because if he thinks Sean's the killer, then Sean isn't the killer. Isn't that tragic if it turns out the child didn't do a murder? Okay, so I will read some chat now. Actually, we'll read Kay's line first. Amazing, so does that mean Judge Gavelle isn't a suspect anymore? We'll find out soon, Kay. And the poll is done, and not clip quote 253 is won with 80% of the vote, which was 169 votes. Nora contributing 1,630 channel points. Second place was Kick Puppies with 17% of the vote. Nora says, Oak and I started watching Nana today. It's so peak. I've heard the title before, but I don't even know what that anime is about. Quickita said, behold the YouTube video of the dead Twitch clip. Okay, so remember earlier when we tried to watch that spoiler clip? Well, now we'll be able to watch a YouTube version of it. So, to recap, as I said before, sometimes Queen Katie and other people, mainly Queen Katie, will create spoiler clips when I guess something either really right, really wrong, or maybe unintentionally foreshadow something. So let's check out what this clip is, and we'll be right back to the game. This is titled, Last Minute Clip, I Hate You, Twitch Curse. So, is this from last stream? Is this something we guessed? Oh, sweet! And the knife and the chisel? Unfortunately, he entrusted both to his father's care. Which means that Chairman Winner is the only person who knows where they are. Oh, Chairman Winner? But why would he? Oh, hey! Maybe it wasn't a body that was buried in one of those kaiju footprints. Maybe it's the evidence. Maybe we just need to go and with one of the shovels from the garage, although we left it back there, and dig up one of the kaiju footprints, and that'll be where the evidence was hidden. See? And again, like everything else, the kaiju footprint, the body being there, that was just a camouflage. But then the question is why? Okay, but obviously it's not going to be kaiju foot. What the heck is that AI? Oh, that is a large woman with a not a large dress. Let's not talk about AI thumbnails though right now. That's a whole bit of drama there. But yeah, I still think it's that package that Judge Gavelle was talking about. But thank you, by the way, very much for clipping that. So it is evidence, but I think it's evidence from whatever happened 12 years ago. That is what Lang said changed the president of Zangfa to start acting all paranoid and weird. So clearly, whatever happened then, there's evidence for that. And maybe the chisel and knife are buried there too. Maybe they're in a different one of the kaiju footprints. Maybe each footprint has a different piece of evidence. We will find out soon, but thank you so much for the clip, Queen Katie. Oak said, we also finished watching episode 2 of JJK, so I can finally force her to watch episode 3 later, which will convince her of the series. It's such a good show. Oak said, because she gets to meet Nobara. Oh, yeah! I forgot that she came in so early. For some reason, I thought it was a few episodes after that. Quickita said, it's so weird how the Twitch curse works because you'll go into the clip manager and it's all perfect and you can even download it. But when you go to the clip link, it's dead. Nora said, relatively quick and relatively painless, just like Redacted's execution, unlike the other two. Nora said, yes, I did an animation-like thing of them. It took a long time. I'd quote the devil from the Bible is a Sonic reference. Logan, I want I watch you for you, bro. I had absolutely no idea what Ace Attorney was when I joined the community, and I appreciate that. Although originally you watched for Doki Doki Literature Club, it took a while before you started watching just for me and the community itself. But I do understand, because I feel like large streamers are the type of streamers that it's like, I'll watch whatever this person does, you know? And I am far from that. That's why game choice is so stressful for me, because it's so important. And Queen Gator says, headcanon, Tabby didn't originally have the accent. She gained it from Lotta. That is possible. Okay, I need to tell you guys about this. So, shortly after I graduated from high school, there was a brief period of time, very brief, where I was living in kind of a dorm situation type of a thing. And there were 4 of us in the dorm room, okay? It was me, 3 other guys, and one of the other guys was a Georgian guy from Jessup, Georgia, and he had like the thickest Georgian accent you've ever, but he wasn't aware of it. Like, you'd ask him about the accent, he's like, what accent? And really good guy, thick accent. And after about like 3 weeks, his accent didn't go away from being around us without a Georgian accent. Instead, everybody else started gaining a Georgian accent. It was that strong of an accent. So I think that is entirely possible. Let's see. Nora said, the fact that I still just like Lotta. Oak says, yeah, me too. I joined for Persona, and now I'm deeply invested in Metaphor and Ace Attorney because they're great games. I hope you'll feel the same about whatever new games we do next. And then there was Rukop with a pin message. Logan said, duty. Let me take a quick look over at YouTube chat. I gotta scroll. Crystal says, he can defeat him with the power of friendship. Yeah, he's strong. Jack said, base Sonic killed Chaos, the god of destruction in Genso. Valtube says, I feel you, Penny. My eyesight is constantly getting worse. That's been like a theme in chat lately. Nora and Oak took an eye test last time. Toby says, Sonic is my favorite character from the hit game Battle Cats. Crystal says, what's up, Val and Toby? Jack says, oh my gosh, my friend group was obnoxiously obsessed with that game for a long time, so I have eternal resentment towards it. Is that a real game, Battle Cats? Toby says, I lost 4 hours of sleep today. I hope I pass out soon. How about like 2 hours from now? Like after this stream is over? Toby, maybe? Jack says, Logan has canonically taken part in the act of child endangerment on multiple occasions in the games, not real children, just virtual children. So their souls are virtual as well, so it's okay. Oh, and over on Twitch, Oak said that was supposed to be a reply to Nora's message, and then saying, Rukov! And Nora says to Oak, check the Discord. And there was Rukov redeeming the poll. Oh, excuse me, Oak redeeming the poll to Rukov. Rukov said, the move is probably 80 to 90% done. You're getting there. I hate moving, so I'm so sorry you're going through that.
I think the main reason I'm so invested in Ace Attorney is because you are so funny.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh. Thank you so much. I remembered that time. I really appreciate that. I still think a lot of the characters would be just as endearing without my stupid voices, like Maya voice and everything. Every now and then I'll post a clip that's like just a Maya voice thing, like maybe TikTok will finally warm up to it. They don't warm up to it. Like currently I'm debating whether, because in the next like week or two, I'd be posting the clip where she was doing like, oh, this airship's heartbeat, it's like boom, 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 beep, and then did the whole flatlining thing for like a minute straight. And like, I don't know if they would like that. Huh?
No. Maya is nothing without your voice.
I think, hang on. I think she's still a popular character. She has fan art long before I ever played the game. And most people haven't seen me do the voice. But thank you nonetheless for the 2 sets of 10 bits. That's very generous, and I appreciate it. Okay, let's play a little bit more here. I feel like I'm not like too terribly far behind in chat based on like when those pin messages and polls and things like that were done. Amazing! So does that mean Judge Gavel isn't a suspect anymore? Surely it must. Both the cause and time of death rule her out. She met with the president the night before last, but the autopsy report puts the time of death at around 11 p.m. last night. Yeah, well, hang on. And yeah, that's when she went through the prosecutorial committee chambers, right? So that is going to still make her a possible murderer, or her son who steals her bank cards. And we know that the Taurosaurus head fell around then too. The facts all line up perfectly. Unless he was crushed with something else and somebody made the Taurosaurus head fall just to make it seem like that's what caused it. Like try to make it look like an accident, like, unsafe work conditions, broken fire code, whatever. The table burned, head fell. Phew, what a relief.
Sorry, it might be a little too soon to celebrate.
What?
Sure, I think we can accept that the falling head must have been what killed the president. But that begs the question of what could have caused it to fall. Or who?
We know it happened late last night, so we have to think about who was here at that time. Well, we know Sean. O.F.
Overruled.
What are you getting at exactly? You can't mean...
I'm afraid I do. You did it, didn't you? Because I'm not gonna say Verity Gabel. I'm gonna say Sean. Didn't you? Sean! Dramatic pauses are great. The kid's hiding something. He was right here last night, right where the body was found. He saw the footprints. And yet he wants us to believe he knows nothing about what happened. That's a big ask, surely.
He is obviously hiding something. That is reasonable. We haven't yet established if the footprints had anything to do with the murder. So even if he did see them, that doesn't mean he was involved. And that'd be a big stretch, though. If the footprints just happened to have been formed there, then that, from Excelsius Winter, and the body just happened to be placed in one.
Maybe not, but his face tells me different. Her nervous face sweat. As does the fact that he's shaking like a leaf. And he's a little kid. Stupid little kid.
It does seem like Agent Lang might be onto something, but I don't think Sean's going to talk.
Fine, keep your mouth shut, kid. I have a better idea. Why don't we let your tape do the talking?
Finally, we're gonna watch more of the tape. What exactly are you planning, Agent Lang?
The police have some pretty sophisticated image analysis tools these days.
Oh, we're gonna brighten it up, and we're gonna see the body is there. It's like I said in the darkness. We're gonna see Sean. Because it's two images that we see. So the first one, we're gonna see Sean, and there will be no body. And then we'll go to the second one, Sean will be gone, and there will be a body. And so that'll also leave it a little bit ambiguous. It's like, by the time Sean left, like at what point did the body appear? So it won't be conclusive proof, but it'll certainly be inconvenient for him. But then again, that's unrealistic because like the tape is actually video footage. The tape isn't just two still images. We ought to be able to see, but there's gotta be something different between the two of them, right? The two images? You would go to such extreme lengths to see my son convicted. Verity, if he didn't do it, then evidence should, reflect that. I mean, this is good. We need to know what happened. It's not ideal, but if the boy won't talk, we don't have any other way of getting to the truth. Detective Gumshoe, you have access to exactly such a device, do you not?
I'm here. I'm still here. It's been about an hour, but hi, everybody. Hi, Tiff, if you're still watching on Twitch. I don't know if you're lurking, but I'm here, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Hey, yeah. Logan, why don't you read the chat for a little bit? Just let me hang out on screen.
Oak says, that's not the percentage, that's the temperature. Oh, to Rukov saying probably 80 to 95% done. Rukov says we laugh at Logan's pain because it's his brand. Queen Katie with a timestamp. 50-30, so that means I am only 18 and a half minutes behind. Not too bad. Queen Katie says, captions, there might be plagiarism on the roof. There could be that too. There could be plagiarism. I think planters mainly, but there could be plagiarism as well. Bubba says, there's another part of your brand, chat bullying you. That is true. I specifically allow that in the rules though. You can't bully other chat members, but you can bully me. Queen Katie said, part of me wonders if we'll get to the special name fact tonight or not. If not tonight, then for sure next stream. Either way, the name fact is at the end of the current page, so we got some waiting to do. I don't know how long the page is, but at the rate we're going, I'm guessing probably not. I'm still trying to figure out who that name fact will be for. I'm thinking it might be Sean, might be Tabby, might be the president again. I'm not sure. Queen Katie said, Logan, reminder, that was Verity checking in on Artie Frost's case for the Von Karma Chairman Winter Forgery Law with the timestamp car. Oh, I know, but what I said last stream was, she told us that after the fact. She said, I went in there and I got the IS-7 case file incident. But that time is right when this murder took place and gives you access to the roof. Although we just found out the roof apparently is unrelated here now. So that might not matter. But I was saying last time that what might have happened is that that Lang was going to accuse Verity on the basis of that you went in there, that it gave you access to the roof, push him off the roof, yada, yada, yada. But it's going to turn out that Sean used the card, went in there, did that, and Verity was kind of aware that Sean did something he shouldn't have done, stole the card, used it, and when she saw that her card was used, figuring it was Sean, it was at that point that while in there, because we were in the committee chambers anyway, grabbed the case file, just when nobody was paying attention, when it was convenient, and claimed that she had gotten it the night before in order to be able to defend Sean. Because I feel like she's a bit of a mama bear type of a mom, and I think she would protect Sean even if it meant betraying her principles for justice. That is what I'm thinking here. And Rukov says, Logan asked, how heavy is that head? I say, at least he wasn't wearing a crown. Only read on if you don't get it. Okay, I get it. Because heavy is the head that wears the crown. Is that old saying. And there's where Tiff came in. I hope Tiff is still here. Let me take a quick look over at YouTube. I gotta scroll up a little bit, actually. Jack says... Oh, I already read that. Jack says, makes sense that you're a jester because you sound as a catchy on occasion. I gotta tiptoe around things there, but yes, hopefully in a fun way. Akechi is a fun character. I'd like to think I treat the elderly better than he does, the way he's always like mean to that one old lady. Bone, how you doing? Says, hey-o, welcome, Bone. Said, why is it always a kid that gets accused? Because then it makes you want to protect the kid. It's like, oh no, not a kid. It's like the same reason why people get really protective of pets, of animals in movies. Because like kids are like humans, but also kind of like pets, you know? Durma says, hi, Bone. The kid gets accused because Logan and Lang both think along the same lines. The only reason I'm not really sussing Sean as hard as before is because Lang is. And that makes me think it is more likely Tabby Lloyd that is the killer, but it's still, Sean might be involved, maybe inadvertently, perhaps? Jack says, Logan can't stand the thought of children not suffering. Bone says, only 18 minutes behind Logan. Nah, can't be. I know, it's crazy, right? I'll read a couple more comments on Twitch and we'll get back to the game. Nora said, I need money for Webtoon. Does Webtoon cost money? Oak says, Tiff. Quicket said, hey, if anything, Logan's trying to defend him this time. Like, only because the game's forcing me to. Tiff says, okay, fair. Queen Katie says, speaking of quotes, I may just go check out more for the archive. Bubba says, that says engagement, not endangerment. Very different things. Oh, what? Engagement? Was it child engagement, not child endangerment? We're engaging with the younger generation. Is that what we're doing? Oak says, it's supposed to be endangerment. Or was it a quote that was written wrong or something like that? Okay. Let's play a bit more. Yeah, sure do, Lil V. Yeah. Good, then that should make this nice and quick. Mr. Edgeworth, might I request that it be you who carries out the analysis in question? Oh, she trusts us. Why me? I fear that Agent Lang might be inclined to believe the worst. Yeah, his body's gonna be there. Gonna be a dead body. The question is whether it will be exactly as we see it. Maybe the yellow mustard stain won't be on it yet. Image analysis isn't exactly my speciality, but all right. Well, this allows us to do the minigame, right? Are there new clues to be discovered somewhere in the image data, I wonder? Oh crap, how do we do this? I don't remember how to do this. Do I lose hit points? Okay, R lets us zoom in, that's what it is, right? Ah! It's just standing there. Let's check the other quadrants first. I thought he'd be laying down dead. I didn't think we'd see him flexing his back muscles like that. And anything up here? Can we see Excelsius hiding in there? Okay. So it's gonna be, what's different? I don't know what's different. It's exactly the same as before. The way he's flexing, it looks like, how do you say it Akuma or Akuma or from Street Fighter? Okay, present. Eureka! What the? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Let me see. But then we also need to check the after. Or was that the after footage? Oh yeah, because I think Sean wasn't there. So that means that after Sean left, he was still alive.
What is it? What's the matter? What's the matter? Show me. I want to see. I feel like I'm missing out. I got real bad FOMO, even though you just barely said it.
Mr. Edgeworth, the court asks that you share your findings. Zoom in on the top right part of the image and look closely. So I was right about the whole thing that there was going to be something in the darkness. Well, it wasn't a dead body. It was a flexing body.
There's a person there. Just a person. Could be anybody. Wait a second. I recognize that pattern of muscles, their massive proportions. It's the president! Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
Oh my!
What? You're kidding, right? I just thought it was like a bodybuilder. Well, I'd say that's pretty decisive, wouldn't you?
No, he's alive. He's alive. Let me read some more comments in the chat. Queen Katie said, isn't Bramble the one with the baby gnomes? I saw the clip of that one time in a roulette. Yes, Bramble the Mountain King, where the baby gnomes having to navigate them through bear traps. Oh, Oak said, yes, very important quote to make sure you do that. Nora says, I did that on purpose, 69, ha ha. Have you ever heard of the audio, if Nana was a guy, she'd be the love of my life? That's from Nana. I don't know if I know that audio. Maybe I've heard it and just don't remember it? Bubba says, I feel there was a good quote there, but I forgot after he said it. Well, what'd I say? Oak said, Nana is about two lesbians who move in together, and they're both named Nana. Oh, is that a common name? Okay. Nora said, it's only 9:41. I'm staying up a long time tonight. Quiggity said, I'm just happy the YouTube one uploaded fast and easy, and I was able to share it without glitches. I'm glad too. It's a good thing we got both then, so it's a backup. Thank you, Queen Katie. Nora said, I'm going to bed in like 3.5 hours. And then Crystal adds a quote, the devil from the Bible is a Sonic reference. Let me take a look over at the YouTube chat now. Valtube with a redacted message. And then Valtube said, Logan, you were solving things fast this stream. I know. Well, so far though, I said this before, so far like everything that we've been clicking on has been very obvious. It's stuff that I would say I've been suspected, but I figure just about any player would be suspecting for quite a while. The tarp over the camera crane, all that type of stuff. And so I feel like it's either just padding out the case or it's trying to lull us into a false sense of security by thinking, oh, we're smart, we got this. But yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff. The question is if the game's gonna just blindside us soon. Jack says, Logan maxed his knowledge before stream. I did that by taking a nap today. And no, today was actually a really busy day. But I did take a nap, but that was important because I didn't sleep very well last night and I had very, very early church this morning and I needed the nap in order to do the busy things that I had to do. But anyway, let's play a little bit more and then we'll be back to the chat. At least I'm caught up on YouTube now. I'm still behind on Twitch, obviously. And holy cow, it's one of those nights where YouTube has like more viewers than Twitch has. I love how much YouTube enjoys this game. It's a nice surprise. I mean, Twitch enjoys it too, but I love it. I love having like two chats. It's like that meme with the two cakes. Like, which cake do you like better? I got two cakes. I got a Twitch cake and I got a YouTube cake. And I love both of you cakes.
Well, I'd say that's pretty decisive, wouldn't you?
This doesn't look good for Sean at all.
Well, wait, this doesn't prove anything. I didn't know he was there. I don't believe you. And there. Boom. Don't believe you. You're a liar. You're a lying kid that lies. And the image does, in fact, prove something very important. That you and the president were here at the scene of the crime together. Admit it, kid. You murdered President Wang!
No, that's ridiculous. He's not even old enough to have a license to kill yet. Why? Why would he kill someone? Oh, the worst part about this is everyone's going to think I'm a bad mother. That is the worst part. Not that someone died. Not that he's going to be executed. That people will think poorly of me. Sean, you didn't. You can't have. Can you? Oh crap, this is gonna be bad for Sean because assuming that my theory is wrong and he's not a stunted adult and he actually is a kid, his adopted mom is questioning him. That's gonna like break his heart, right? That she doesn't fully believe in him. What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? It's hard to push back against footage like that. Well, we can also say he's alive in it.
Surely you can't deny that this looks pretty bad for the kid, Mr. Prosecutor.
Arg!
He claimed he knew nothing about what happened. But the president is right there with him.
See, this is why you should obey your Miranda rights. Your right to remain silent until you have your own defense attorney with you. If Phoenix Wright was here, we wouldn't be having an impromptu cross-examination in the middle of an abandoned yard turned movie set. Sean, what are you not telling us? We have to know. He's right, Sean. Be honest now. It's the only way. Or he could lawyer up. You know, better call Saul. That guy's good. The truth is, well, okay, so was the president here last night? Yes. Was I also here last night? Yes. Were the two of us here at the same time? Also, yes. Did I murder him? Yes. But I'm just a little guy. I'm just a silly little guy. Just a silly little guy. The truth is, it was all my fault. Oh, okay. So it's going to sound like that he's not the murderer, but somebody did something to rig up that table to trick Sean into thinking that he accidentally caused the head to fall. So that's good, though, because that means he was an eyewitness to the falling, possibly, and he'll be able to give us information that'll help us find the real killer who, yeah, it's got to be Tabby then. It's Tabby Lloyd. Sean, what did you do? It was my fault the Torosaurus head fell off the trailer. Oh, we're doing a cross-examination. What happened while I was rehearsing? Okay, so let's also save. I think we've only saved once tonight, and we are somehow already almost halfway through the stream. So let's do that. I'm gonna have a sip of water. I'll read a few more comments in the chat, and then we'll get to the cross-examination. But we got the awesome, like, guitar music playing while this is going on. Nora says, Georgia, the state or the country? The state. So the state, you know, the one just north of Florida. Said, lurk, gonna go bother my mom. Enjoy the mother bothering. Nora, thank you so much for the lurk. Oak says, please post the airship heartbeat clip. I will do everything for it. Okay, well then here's what you gotta do. Here's what you gotta do. You have to start at least 24 alternate TikTok accounts. Carefully cater their algorithm so that they will want to show you Ace Attorney content, so that then they will just kind of naturally, organically show you that clip when it goes live, and then through each and every one of them, click like in order to convince the algorithm that people like it. Because otherwise, it's like, people aren't gonna like it. People just aren't gonna like it. I'll probably post it, I guess. Could we get you pointing up at a quote saying date everything in a nutshell? This is, oh, quote number 52. Why does this game refuse to objectify me? Holy crap, that was... Ghost Trick was over 2 years ago? That is insane. I thought it was a lot more recently than we played that game. Crystal says, I'm having Eustace withdrawals. I know, I miss him too. Maybe we just need to have like a Eustace button where you press it and he just appears on the screen for a minute. Oak says, me too, Crystal. Crystal says, I missed the best character. Tiff says, gumshoe with a heart. Pin message written by Queen Katie, pinned by Crystal, said, nice warning from Katie, because I'm nice. This will be the only testimony in page 3. Is that the end of page 3? No, I hope that helps. Ooh. So there might be a lot of stuff, or it might be a short section. I don't know. Well, okay, let's get back into it then. Let's see what it is. I went up on the roof of the trailer park the trailer to perp the kid I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was there. I must have left it burning when I came back down to run my lines. Then my mom called, and I left the set to go talk to her. When I came back after the call, ... Oh, the Torosaurus head had fallen from the roof and ... Okay, so he's already got the yellow stuff on him. I assume that's yellow, even though it's black and white. The president was just there lying next to it. No. We did find evidence of a fire having broken up on the roof. Well, I mean, the good news is that even if he's going to be accused now, the accusation at most would be, what would you call that? Negligent homicide? It's not going to be like first degree. So he's not going to be executed. He just might spend the rest of his earthly life behind bars, miserable and bitter and unhappy forever. Dying one day, sad and alone, or maybe young in a prison gang fight.
It was just a tiny one, so I put it out myself.
So we're saying the president died because of Sean.
If he did, that would make this whole thing just an accident.
What did you do with the head after you found it on the ground? So actually, but this means that maybe he is the murderer after all, and he's lying about this. Because we got to cross-examine. We got to find some flaw in his argument, find that he really did do the murder.
Well, I took it apart, carried the pieces up to the roof, and put it back together again.
Okay, that lines up with what Penny Nichols said, that pretty much anybody can do that if you know how to disassemble it right. But except one of the horns got left down at the bottom because it was broken, yeah?
You're saying you put out the fire and moved the head back to where it fell from? In other words, you tried to cover your tracks. You're a real piece of work, kid.
Okay. That is illegal as well. Just arrest him. I don't care.
It's not like I did any of this on purpose. I really did just forget to turn the heater off.
I mean, the cover-up was on purpose. Yes, and when the fire had burned through the legs of the legs, the table would have collapsed, and the head would have fallen onto the ground below. You're right! The fire caused the head to fall. Indeed, and I also happen to have an idea about how the fire may have started. I'm going to save in case the game's going to ask us, because I don't know. Unless it's going to be from Excelsius Winter's Lighter. He is a character who's all about lighting fires. Those cans of paint thinner by the heater are pretty flammable. Not a great place to keep... Oh, that's right.
And you swear it was an accident? Seems a little convenient. What was the president even doing here in the first place?
How the heck am I supposed to know? I didn't see anybody. I said I saw a dead body, but I didn't see anybody body.
I still don't believe you. Why would President Wang come to a place like this in the middle of the night?
Didn't he have a cameo in the movie? Isn't that what Penny said? His reasons for coming here are something of a mystery, it's true. He met George Gavel up on the roof 2 nights ago. But he was also here on the movie set last night. Did he come to meet Sean? I think we'll need to go over the boys' statement very carefully indeed.
What happened while I was rehearsing rebuttal?
Okay, you guys know the drill. We're gonna save, we're gonna press every single statement, and then after that, we'll figure out where we're gonna present our evidence. But first, I wanna read a couple more comments in the chat. Because as I said, I'm getting close to catching up. Crystal says, but ... I wanna bully Nora, Logan. You can't. Crystal, not here. You gotta do that on your own time. If you gotta bully someone, you have to make do with me. Make do. Nora says, unlurk. And then to Crystal, no. I'm playing Ace Attorney on the emulator phone my brother got me. Well, remember, this channel, I should say, does not endorse any illegal emulation. Although I think the Ace Attorney games are available in the Apple app store, right? Because that's how we played the first Investigations game, and I think Apollo Justice as well. Because it was before the trilogy came out. Crystal says, what emulator is it, Nora? Queen said, please pin. We're officially up to quote number 62 on the quote archive. Only 600 more to go, unless we add more quotes, which surely we won't do. Nora said, by emulator phone, I mean a phone with a bunch of emulators on it, so I'm playing like the OG Ace Attorney with the old graphics. Crystal says, oh. Nora said, if you mean what specific console it is, I couldn't tell you. I could try to check, though. I'm gonna skip any comments about emulation in the chat. Anything else like that, I would also recommend sticking to DMs, just because, like, I don't know the legalities. I know people say, I remember people say that, like, emulators are legal, but ROMs aren't or something, but I don't want to risk it. We don't endorse illegal activity in the channel. Quick said, what's new, fellow cow kids? The whole Steve Buscemi thing with the skate. What is that from? Is that from a movie or a TV show? Crystal says, moo. Oh, that's right, we gotta add moos to his comments. Nora said, I forgot how to save this. Queen said, spoiler clip incoming, guys. Nora, if you're playing the OG Ace Attorney, I think the saving is a little bad, lol, so good luck. Nora said, just forgot where it is. And Mia's here. Oh, another clip. Okay, so this is another spoiler clip. So once again, this is whenever I have guessed something right, guessed something really wrong, or accidentally foreshadowed something. Or maybe not. Oh, this is from an hour ago? Okay, it's got to be a spoiler clip because there's no way I'm an hour behind in chat. Oh, hang on. Keeps doing that for some reason. Okay, this is titled Say Cheese, Mr. Prez. Does the suit change at all? Is the volume way down? Between the two. No, it's the same. Sean there and then... Yeah, because I'm saying he's going to be in the darkness. I don't really see any difference. I feel like that we're going to at some point take this in and have like Emma Sky brighten it up and we'll see something over here in the darkness. No, it wasn't. It was just back muscle. Lots and lots of back muscle. So thank you very much for the clip. I appreciate that. So yeah, that was like a last minute guess, but it totally counts. Nora said to Crystal, this specific one, yeah, I'm skipping that because it's about emulation. Queen Katie said, nice warning from Katie because I'm nice. Oh, that was a pin. Oh, so I'm very close to catching. Oh, hang on. I'm seeing down the bottom of the chat, Liz Okami is here. Can we do a quick shout out for Liz Okami? Because that was who we rated, was that, how many days ago was that? I think it was like 3.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Darling, listen to me. There are many logs. You need to be more specific where. So I looked at the logs on the left and got fucking ass reamed on the right. On those logs. Just saying.
Liz, actually, have I asked you, may I call you Liz? Do I have to call you Okami? Are you still here in the chat? Hi! I do read every comment in chat. I'm usually really, really far behind. I'm actually not very far behind tonight, which is why I saw you on like the little first time chat window pop it up there. But hi, welcome, Liz! I'm gonna call you that until I hear you say otherwise. So yeah, this is our channel now. The other person, oh crap, what was Dark? What's his name? Who was streaming with you? Popped in the other day. I gotta check. This is gonna bug me until I remember the correct name here. I'm gonna look up. Hang on. It should be right here. It was Dark Wolf, right? Dark Wolf? Yes, Dark Wolf popped in the other day. So it's good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, so we're playing Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit. I don't know if you played any of the Ace Attorney games. We are in the final case. So if you plan on playing this game, there might be some spoilers, so I totally understand if you have to step away because of that, but we'd love to have you hang around for a little bit. So it's good to see you here. So let me read a couple more comments in the chat then. Let's see, where was I leaving off? Yeah, just so you know, Liz, I'm usually like half hour, sometimes 45 minutes behind in chat. Right now, I'm like maybe 10 minutes behind. It's like nothing. Let's see. Quick Gator said, please pin a Fable. Crystal said, Ghost Trick is 2 years ago. That's what the quote said. It was from 2020, from April of 2023. Nora said, doesn't this kid have a fairy? Are we talking about Sean? Because he's a cow. Cows don't have fairies. They have flies that buzz around their butts and they smack them with their tails. Quick Gator said, I joined 2 years ago. I know, right? Time flies. It simultaneously feels like I've just barely met you and I've known you forever. Nora said, and why is he destined to rule? Hi, whatever. And who is Navi? And there's Liz Okami's first message saying, hello, how's stream going? See, I got to your first message. I'm not very far behind at all. So, I do need to play a little bit of the game. Actually, I should check the YouTube chat real quick because there's a couple more comments over there. Bone was saying manslaughter. Okay, I always get mixed up the difference between manslaughter and negligent homicide. I feel like negligent homicide is like a subcategory of manslaughter, but I'm not a lawyer, so I could be wrong. Bone said, so would that make the person that lighted the fire the person who committed the manslaughter? If they did it by accident, how would that work? You could say that it was maybe whoever was placing the paint thinner by the heater. If that is the case, I think it was intentional and that somebody placed those items there after the fact to make it look like perhaps it was an accident to kind of cover it up. And then Bone says, would both of them be guilty? I don't know. I don't know. Queen Gator said Navi is the fairy. Nora said the fairy that this kid doesn't have. Queen Gator said, yep, Navi is a fairy. Nora said, is Zelda actually a person? What are we talking about here? Why are we talking about Zelda all of a sudden? And then Crystal said, no, she is an elf. Crystal, are you saying elves aren't people? Elves are people. Nora said, why is it called The Legend of Zelda if the main character is not, in fact, Zelda? Crystal says, Somnium Files was last year. Nar! And there's Liz Okami saying, I should be lurking, but have fun with the stream. Lurk. Thank you for the lurk, Liz! Again, I'm going to assume I can call you Liz. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you. Okay, let's play a little bit more, and then we'll be back to the chat soon. So like I said, we got to press every statement, then we're going to figure out where we're going to present our evidence.
I went up to the roof of the trailer to prep the kit I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was there.
Hold it!
You're a fit and hardy young man, Sean. It's spring now. Surely you didn't need to fire up that stove. He's a fit and hardy young man who needs to look after himself. Really, Your Honor, but if he resorts to such measures even during warm weather.
Seriously? Can we just accept I'm kind of a wimp? I'm a little guy. I'm skin and bones. The cold cuts right through me. You two are gonna argue over something like that right now?
Yeah, he's right, of course. You've made your point, Sean, but I've told you before to watch how you talk to people. I think he was criticizing you as much as he was me, Your Honor. Oh, we got a pin message written by Crystal, pinned by Crystal. Crystal saying she's racist to elves? Why, have any of you seen that webcomic? I can't remember who it's by, but I see it like all the time show up on like Twitch and places like that. It's this weird comic where it's like this elf girl who's racist against humans, but she's kind of tsundere for this one human. And the punchlines are usually those like close-up, ultra-detailed looks at her face. Does anybody here know what I'm talking about? Please tell me that somebody else knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, Mom. Anyway, where was I? Well, I must have left it burning when I came back down to run my lines.
You left it burning? You didn't think to check before you came back down to the lot?
I meant to, but I was thinking about my lines and the scene and everything else.
Honestly, this is probably the most accurate depiction of a kid. Kids do that all the time. They always forget about crap.
It's not my fault I forgot. Everybody forgets stuff.
I sure do so much stuff. I mean, just the other day, I had amnesia. That's crazy. I leave the air conditioner on in Mr. Edgeworth's office and the lights. I forgot that he told me never to jump off the ladder on his bookshelves or make prank calls. But the one thing I would never, ever forget is to turn off an unattended heater. That's just crazy.
Please, Sean. Go on. I'm going to have a talk with Kay later.
She's a lot, huh? Well, anyway, as I was saying, then my mom called and I left the set to go talk to her.
It was the middle of the night, and the set was deserted. Didn't Sean say before that he was staying at a hotel? Or maybe he left, like, from here to talk to her on the phone? And the set was deserted. Yeah, why would you leave? Why wouldn't you just talk right there? Why did you need to leave in order to talk to your mother? Maybe it's because the camera was running, and he didn't want the camera to see him saying, I love you to his mom.
Well, I forgot I was supposed to talk to her. I got confused, I guess. I thought if I didn't leave, she'd find out I was out of the hotel at night on my own.
That doesn't make sense. You know that, don't you?
Fine. Look, the camera was rolling and the mics were all live, okay? I didn't want our conversation on that tape where anybody could hear it.
He was embarrassed about being recorded speaking on the phone to his mother. Again, an accurate depiction of a child.
So I ditched the rehearsal and ran off set as quick as I could.
Okay, we're halfway through the pressing statements. Let me read a couple more comments in the chat. Nora said, where's the tree? Quickity said, oh, I miss Somnium Files. Cries at my Iba statue. Yeah, I remember skimming through Logan's AA1 VODs. It was kind of funny watching him look down at his phone every now and then. Wait. It could have been the AA1 VODs. Oh, AAI1. There we go. AAI1. Yes. Because I was having it, because I was streaming it on mobile, so I was having to do that. That is correct. There's where Crystal did the shout out to Liz Okami. See? Liz says, oh my gosh, thank you for the shout out. And oh my gosh, not the clip. You can call me Liz. Awesome. And Crystal says, Dark Wolf. Liz says, Dark Wolf. Thank you, Crystal. I haven't, but I want to. You're good. I get behind on chat. Well, get behind as well. Awesome. Well, not awesome about getting behind, but I'm glad that we can relate. Let me take a glance over at YouTube. Bone says, Hylians are nor elves. They just have pointy ears. Isn't that what elves are? People with pointy ears, sometimes they live really long. Sometimes they have 4 fingers instead of 5, depending on what type of lore. Isn't that what it is? Bone says they are never referred to as elves and called humans in every other line in Twilight Princess, as well as other. I still haven't played Twilight Princess. I want to play it. When are they going to finally do like a remaster of that on the Switch? Wind Waker at least is now going to be available with the online GameCube stuff. Although I hear that there are like some issues with the GameCube port that they're, or the port to the GameCube on. I don't know, but I want to play that and I want to play Twilight Princess. Bone says Hylians, Sheikah, and Gerudo are all just different races of human. Well, maybe elves are a subcategory of human in that lore. Maybe. Jack says, I was of the understanding that Hylians weren't human? Huh? I don't know enough about it, apparently, to be able to say. Derma says, hold on, let me get out the Hyrule Historia. Oh, I want that book. I'm kind of jealous. Jack says, ooh, boy. Bone says, elves are magical creatures. Well, Zelda can do magic. Then again, like humans sometimes and things can do magic too, so that probably doesn't prove a whole lot. All right, let's play a little bit more. When I came back after the call. Oh yeah, we gotta press this statement.
Hold it!
He's gonna be like, what did you do? He's like, I'm getting to it. You pretended to your mother that you were back at the hotel during the call, correct? How come you couldn't tell her you were coming back to the set to practice your lines? Because she'd have phoned the hotel and asked them to send a car or get me or something. Of course I would have. A child your age shouldn't be out on his own late at night. That is true! Anything could happen to you. Children really can't seem to see things from their parents' perspective, can they? That's true the other way around too, you know, Mr. Edgeworth. All right, Sean, can you tell us what happened when you came back after speaking to your mother? Huh? Oh, sure. So I came back and ... Well, the Taurosaurus head had fallen from the roof and ... Hold it! Were there any signs that it was about to fall before you left? I don't remember. I was concentrating on my lines. But a fire had broken out on the roof because of the heater you forgot to turn off. Did you really hear nothing the entire time? Or maybe smell nothing? Burning stuff smells. No, I had my headphones on. Why? Wait, hang on. Does he have his headphones on in that photo? Or not the video, I guess. Is he gonna add that to his... Oh, he does! Oh, and he doesn't have his horns on for some reason. How did I not notice before that he has his headphones on? Okay. Why? Well, I was playing the soundtrack to the movie to help me concentrate, and I was playing it loud. How? I feel like most movies aren't scored while they're still being shot? But then again, most of the movies I've been have been very small independent features that often use some use public domain music. It's crazy because one of them, one of the first movies I was in that I had a small role in, the scene that I was in used like public domain soundtrack type of stuff. But it's a sound, it's like a song, a sound, whatever, that every now and then these days gets used in the background of TikTok audio. And so I'll be watching a TikTok and then this comes up and I'm like, that's the scene. That is the scene I was in. I was playing the soundtrack to the movie to help me concentrate, and I was playing it loud. So yeah, I definitely didn't hear anything. Except for the sound of your phone ringing when Judge Gavel called you. Maybe it was on vibrate. He felt it buzz in his pocket. You know the cell phones vibrate these days, right? What's wrong with you? Oh, I know what's wrong with you. You're old. Anyway... the president was just there lying next to it.
Hold it!
Did you notice anything unusual about the body? I don't know. It was dark. Grumble. Thinking. He suddenly seems even more reticent than usual. I don't think he wants to go back over the memory any more than he has to, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, we better add something new to his testimony, because, so far nothing is sticking out as glaringly wrong. I'm sure he doesn't, but is that really all it is? Should I push him a little more on this? Let's save. I think the obviously interesting thing is to push and see what else we can get. I feel like if we don't, we won't get anything. We didn't get anything from the other statements. Push him just a little more, just a little bit more. It was dark, but you knew it was a body nonetheless. He's hiding something. I'd better find out what. Most people would cry out for help if they saw somebody lying on the ground, and yet you didn't.
Yeah, because, oh, wait, what was the point? He was dead.
How'd you know? You could have thought he was sleeping. Unless he checked his pulse or his breathing or something. So you said. What I'm interested in is how you were able to be so sure. Why were you certain that he was dead?
You know, he was lying on the ground. Nobody ever lies on the ground unless they're dead. And that huge head was right next to him. Well, it didn't take much to figure out what must have happened.
You couldn't have guessed that the impact would have killed him. How did you really know? I'll tell you how. Because you checked. I mean, it would make sense when he disassembled the head and took it back up. He would have been right there with it. I need to read some more in the chat. I don't know why, but I'm getting more and more thirsty. It wasn't even that hot today, but it's getting hot in here. Nora says, I'm throwing rocks at the girls in this forest. Oh, because I'm playing Ocarina of Time. There we go. That makes more sense. Because not only do we not endorse illegal emulation, we don't endorse throwing rocks at forest girls. Forest girls are probably just nice. Maybe they are running away from home, about to get eaten by a witch in a candy house. Maybe they're performing witchcraft themselves. Maybe they are the witches that are abducting children, but that's okay because the children are going to kick them into the oven as long as we do the westernized version of the fairy tale. Crystal says, welcome. And then saying that you're racist to the elves. Nora says, how do I save? How do I work this game? Crystal laughing. Nora says, no. Queen Katie said, for a second, Logan, I thought you were talking about Dungeon Meshi. But nah, I've never heard of what it is you're yapping about. What was I even yapping about? I don't even remember. Nora said, what's your guys' opinion on the YN thing on TikTok? Okay, here's the thing, Nora. I mentioned that a couple weeks ago. I mentioned, oh my gosh, TikTok just keeps showing me all these YN videos for Attack on Titan stuff. And suddenly everybody was like, why? Oh, that's awful, terrible, grumble. And I'm like, wow, I stepped on a landmine there, apparently. Here's the thing. The first one or two that I saw, I thought was funny. It's basically making fun of people doing self-insert OCs that everybody loves. And it was funny and it was weird, although I think the joke is overplayed a little bit. I know that the person who makes them is now doing lore things that created, was it NY? It's the opposite of YN, and they're split and trying. And so maybe there's gonna be a way to make it more fun and interesting by adding lore. So it's not just the same joke over and over again. But initially I thought they were funny. Crystal says, is it the elf with the green dress with yellowish orange hair, elf? Queen Katie said, quote, I forgot that he told me to never ... Wait, Kay, haven't you only known Edgeworth for a few weeks canonically? I don't know. I forgot what the gap between case 3 and the final case was for the first game. I think it was a few weeks. It was just a few weeks. So yes. So in that short time, she has already been wrecking his office, apparently, and then forgetting about it. But to be fair, she did have amnesia. Crystal said she still have amnesia side effects. Queen Katie says true. Crystal says, may YN stop existing. YN is such a pick-me. Do you mean the character or the videos themselves? Nora says, I hate YN. I can't deal with it. Again, the first couple videos I thought that I saw were funny. I do feel like it's a bit overplayed, though. Queen Katie said, what do you mean YN is on TikTok? That stays in cringe fanfics. Wait, what? Is this a different thing? Because YN on TikTok is an androgynous gray alien creature that every character on Attack on Titan is in love with. Was this a real thing in TikToks? I need to know if this has origins I didn't realize. Let me read a couple comments over on YouTube. I gotta scroll up a little bit because there's actually there's stuff happening. There's stuff happening. We're gonna find out what the Hyrule Historia says. Dorma says, Hylians are humans which are chosen by Hylias, so chosen humans, not elves. Here's where I get confused with this type of stuff. I was just thinking about this. So, if you do try and combine all the Zelda games into one cohesive timeline, or I guess two because they branch off, right? 2, maybe 3, I don't know exactly. Then you basically have to accept that all the Zeldas and Links are reincarnations of each other, yada, yada, yada. So Skyward Sword is the first one when the Hylians lived up in the sky and came down, but then Tears of the Kingdom makes it seem like the people lived in the sky and came down were what were they even called? That had the relics, the really tall, furries with the extended torsos that Link gets the arm of. So it makes me think were the Hylians in the first game actually the furries, but we just see them as elves because that's how we see them when the game's played. And I'm very confused by that stuff. Oh, crap. Where'd I leave off? It's like scrolling in weird places without me. I gotta scroll up again. I gotta scroll down. Where am I in the chat? Hang on. There we go. And Bone says, Zelda is the reincarnation / descendant of the reincarnation of a goddess. Jack says, but also not completely human. Derma says, chosen humans, ones with additional power. Jack says, so more complicated than just humans. Bone says, the humans highly sent up into a skyloft. Derma said, so still completely human. White gives him pointed ears. I don't know, so they can hear gods? I don't know. Jack says, Logan was in a movie. What was it? Where can I find you? I've been in multiple movies, although Beowulf has told me that I'm not supposed to tell people what those movies are anymore because that is doxing myself, because then you can look them up on IMDb and you know my name, my full name, and then you can find anything about me. But it's not that easy, not that difficult to find. But it's all just like small indie stuff. It's stuff that like almost nobody has heard of or seen, and they're small roles and stuff. Like most of the characters are like, you know, pizza delivery guy, soldier number 3 or something like that. A few of them have names though, but yeah, like 'cause that's what I do. I do acting. Valtube says I want to watch the movie too. Dura said not to be confused with Hyruleans, which are just people in Hyrule, the place. Bone says hyperfixation moment aside, yeah, I like Zelda. How could you tell? I like Zelda also. I like Legend of Zelda. If we talk about Zelda the person, my favorite Zelda is probably Skyward Sword Zelda. I don't know, I just liked her. She was cute. Jack says, same goes for my Sonic rant. Bone says, I could rant Sonic all day too. Derma says, love Zelda too. Jack says, same. Bone says, all Persona and Subnautica and FNAF and Deltarune and Nintendo in general and Star Wars and ... Jack says, Persona, Nintendo, and Star Wars for me. Throw in Ace Attorney for relevance. For me, it's Transformers. Speaking of Transformers, where's Vero? I miss Vero. Bone says, Kingdom Hearts, and the list goes on. Jack says, can't help you there, pal. Opinion says, YN stands for your name is used for self-insert fanfiction. Okay, that makes so much more sense. Okay, this is gonna show how out of touch I am with fanfic, because I don't really read a lot of fanfic. I thought it stood for yes, no, like you're choosing between something like, you know, it's like, you know, when you're in elementary school and you pass a note to a girl you like, do you like me? Check 1, yes, no. You could do like Y/N. So it's your name. This is like completely new to me. I did not know this. So it's your name. Interesting. Okay. Wow, that makes so much more sense now why it's a self-insert, because it's YN. And Bone says, Zonai, that's what it was. I was about to say Zora, but I'm like, no, Zora, the fish people. Derma says, okay, first and only exposure to Kingdom Hearts is Dream Drop Distance, which I completed. Wait, hang on. You played that like cold without any of the others? I have no clue what went on, but I beat it. Did you enjoy it? I feel like that would be so confusing. Derma says, I love Skyward Sword Zelda. Spirit Tracks is my favorite. Is my favorite though, because she is with you throughout the game and actually fights. She's in my top 3. I don't know if she'd be second or third. Spirit Tracks I feel is underrated. I feel like that whole era of Zelda was a little bit overly formulaic, but I like Spirit Tracks. Oh, and a pin message over here on Twitch, written by Crystal. Pinned by Crystal said, hang on, we gotta listen to TTS.
Speaking of Transformers, last night playing Gartic Phone for Nora's stream we encountered a wild Transformers fan. They drew lots of Transformers and we directed them to you. I'll post the drawings in artwork. 3.
Please do. Please do. Do you remember the name of the person? You don't say the username here, but maybe on Discord. I want to make sure that I say hi. I love Transformers. In case you didn't notice, I love Transformers. So thank you so much for the 10 bits, okay, and for helping out to make a new friend for me. Thank you. Okay, so Crystal says in the pin message, it all started in Wattpad, a fanfiction app. YN means your name. It is a self-insert, and the readers can read YN as their name. I never knew that. I've done so little with fanfic stuff. I especially don't know any of the culture of it, I suppose. I did make a Transformers fan comic once years ago, but it didn't have self-insert stuff. It was just robots doing robot things. Okay, we should probably play some more of the game, then I'll be back into the chat in just a little bit. I'll tell you how, because you checked! Fine, I checked, okay? Well, I was scared, but yeah, I went up to the body and I looked and he wasn't breathing. So I was right. But why try to hide that fact? There must be a reason. Maybe it's because he knows CPR. And he chose not to because he didn't want to put his mouth on man lips. Could you tell me how the body looked at that point?
Well, I couldn't tell if he was dead at first. There was no blood or anything, so it was hard to be sure. Nothing on his clothes. Oh! Nothing on his clothes either. He was completely clean. Well, then why did it show the powder on his chest a minute ago? In the shot where he looked over, I guess that was just what we imagined he would look like. Okay, so we'll add that to his statement. We'll present the picture of the body, show that he had the yellow powder, which we're still waiting to find out what it does. Easy. But yeah, he wasn't breathing. Well, so that's how I knew he was dead. Thank you. I'd like you to add that statement to your testimony if you don't mind. We're still gonna press it because I want to know what he'd say. Well, I didn't know he was dead at first. There was no blood and nothing on his clothes either.
Hold it!
Hold it! So there was no blood or any other markings that would have told you if he was alive or dead. Would you say that my characterization of your statement is correct? I think that's leading the witness. You can't say, I don't know. You know I would, and you saw the body too, so you know I'm telling the truth. You also told us that the lot was dark at the time, and yet you were still able to confirm all this. Although, if it's dark, maybe the kid is mildly colorblind? Huh? Because isn't that a thing with bulls? I know that they always use like the red flags with like bullfighting matadors and stuff like that, but aren't bulls like somewhat colorblind? Are bulls able to see the color yellow? I'm guessing they can. It wouldn't be that specific. I'm gonna Google that just in case. Hang on. Can bulls see? I'm gonna say color first to see if it comes up. No, bulls are partially colorblind and cannot see the color red the same way humans do. They lack red retina receptor, meaning they see colors differently, similar to humans with red-green color blindness. Bulls primarily see shades of yellow, green, blue, and velvet. Okay, so they it's not that they don't see yellow, it's that they only see yellow. Although maybe that would make maybe it's not that the yellow blended in with the suit because of color blindness. Maybe it's that the suit blended in with the yellow because of color blindness. Maybe the whole thing looked yellow to him. Possibly? Huh? Maybe? You also told us that the lot was dark at the time, and yet you were still able to confirm all this. What is your problem? There was nothing on his face and nothing on his clothes, okay? Thank you, Sean. I think that tells us everything we need to know. Why all the focus on how clean his clothes were? Mine were freshly washed, at least. Perhaps you could give us a few details about how exactly you confirmed the president was dead. Well, I couldn't tell just from standing there. But then I saw he wasn't breathing. That's how I knew for sure. Oh, there's another statement that got added. Okay, let's press this one too. Why not? See if there's any more funsies content. How did you confirm that he was no longer breathing? Well, they taught us how to at school. You put your cheek up next to the person's nose. If they're breathing, you can feel it. Never thought I'd actually have to do it in real life. I mean, it's good that they teach them this stuff, but yeah, it takes guts for real. Not because he might be dead, just I never want my cheek next to somebody's nose. Not bad for an elementary school kid. He's in junior high, Kay. Try to remember at least that much. It's amnesia. Yeah. It must have been quite a shock coming back and seeing a dead body just lying there, huh? And this was a dead body with a giant Torosaurus head right next to it. Yes, I'm sure it must have been very upsetting. But it does sound like it was an accident, right? Yes, at least it does the way Sean tells it. I'd like to know a little more about exactly how things looked around here at the time. Okay, so we got to go to came back to the car, Torosaurus on the roof, president was lying there. Okay, so this one we're gonna present the picture of the body to show the yellow stuff. We're gonna save, present the evidence, and we should be good. Let me read a couple comments in the chat though, before we do that. Oh, and there's another pin message written. Oh, hang on, I gotta click out of that. Hang on, wait, click the wrong thing, hang on. There we go. Written by Crystal, pinned by Crystal, said, YN is very stereotyped as someone weak and or I'm different from other girls, and they get help/love from their favorite idols/characters. Okay, so when you guys say that you hate YN's such a pick-me, etc., 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 are you talking about the trope of YN, or like the videos that were going viral with the Attack on Titan characters and the gray alien character? Now I'm curious. I gotta read some more in the chat though. Crystal said she still has side effects from amnesia. Already read that.
Crystal says, YN got kidnapped by One Direction and became their very secret girlfriend. Okay, so it sounds like this is maybe more than just the Attack on Titan stuff. So is that what you were talking about, Nora, the Attack on Titan videos? Queen Katie said, exactly. Crystal says, ooh, about that. They made YN more cringe on TikTok. Queen Katie says, how? Nora said, I'm not on AOT TikTok, avoiding because I want to watch it. Why won't YN leave? Well, yeah, definitely don't watch those videos because those will have spoilers. Crystal said, by exaggerating more, I don't know how they could even do that, though. Queen Katie says, wow. Nora said to Queen Katie, it's a gray alien thing with the most annoying voice you've heard in your entire life, like 50 times worse than Hufumi's voice. Queen Katie said, I knew the newer generation would do things, but wow. Yeah, I can't even do the voice. Like, it's like this high-pitched screechy thing. Crystal says, but ooh, won't Aaron save you, ooh. Nora says, no. Crystal says, I'm a YN expert, experienced since Wattpad era. And a timestamp, 1:42:24. I'm still only 18 minutes behind. I've been maintaining that 18-minute position there. Let me read a couple more comments over on YouTube then. Let's see, Derma said, Spear Tracks was my introduction, so yeah, I love it. I also really like, and maybe it's just a design thing, or because I just love it. I'm a fan of old retro games. I love, like, Link to the Past, and then they did the Link Between Worlds remake. And so I really like Link to the Past Zelda as well. And she was the Zelda, like the default Zelda in Smash Ultimate on Switch. And so that would probably round up my top 3. Definitely Skyward Sword, and then Spirit Tracks and Link to the Past, but Link to the Past / Smash Ultimate. I don't know which one, and that's just like mainly a design thing, I think. And because I have a soft spot for that game. Bone says, that's a crazy place to drop, no pun intended, in Dream Drop Distance is funny because it's Kingdom Hearts mixed with Pokemon and Nintendogs. Valtube says, I have written a few fanfics. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't know the culture very well. I figure like fanfics is like any art form. Some is going to be great and some is going to be awful. Bone says, maybe hot take, but I prefer the Birth by Sleep / Dream Drop Distance system where spells run a timer instead of taking MP. Oh, so they have a cooldown? I think I'd prefer that. I always worry about using up all my MP, and I hate using MP items. I have thought up fanfiction, like stuff in my mind, but never written. Jack says, I'm considering it as a way to put my creativity into words as practice for more legitimate writing. I'm already working on a book with my friends that I'd like to publish once I get out of school. It's a shame publishing a book in Canada can cost around 4K to 6K. Why? Thank you, Queen Katie. Thank you, Queen Katie. Did I do something wrong? Hang on. Let me just say, doesn't like Amazon and some of these other services offer like free online publishing? Like basically it's like made to order publishing and then they sell. I mean, the downside is it probably limits where the books can sell, but that's really cool that you're working on a book. That is awesome. But yeah, I guess some people I've seen that now they'll do like fanfic of things and then later after they've done, if they like it, go back and change all the names of the characters and places and publish it as their own fiction. Bone says, A Link Between Worlds is peak. Dermot said a flaw with having spells on timers so you can just spam heals, potions become useless. Bone says, I want half remake, half sequel, setup used more series that is... I want half remake, half sequel, setup used more for more series that has so much potential. Dermot said Link Between Worlds is phenomenal. More people should play it. Crystal says 4 to 6,000? Yes, and it's not 4 to 6,000, it's 4,000 to 6,000, because 4 to 6,000 could be like $5, you know? Jack says in Canadian dollars if you live in the US, but yeah, it's crazy. Let me read a couple more over here on Twitch. Nora said, Crystal, why are you on Wattpad? Crystal says, not anymore. Nora said, Crystal, my mom knows about you. Queen Katie said, I'm sure for the same reason, I'm not there anymore, ... No. Crystal says, but believe me when I say I read everything I could about YNX boy bands. Nora said, Crystal, ... crying face. Queen Katie said, I made one cringe unfinished fic on Wattpad, and the only reason I go back there sometimes is for a Ruby fanfic where they react to red versus blue. Huh?
Hey, loser.
Clam! How you doing? Welcome. I'm trying to remember. You did pop in since your birthday, and we already sang to you, right? I'm pretty sure we did. And I asked if little Henry respects you now. Oh yeah, because you were asking about like Camp Hobie and stuff like that. How you doing, Clam? Thank you for the 10 bits. How are you doing? How's your weekend going? We had a show last night. It worked out in the black box, even though it didn't work out like the previous week. Clam. So yes, I'm pretty sure we already sang happy birthday to you because of that, but what's up? Welcome, just in time, about to actually play some game. We're gonna present some evidence. We're doing actual game mechanics here. Let's do that, present.
Objection!
Nothing on his clothes? Nothing at all? Yeah, nothing. Why? Is there a problem with that? So again, we got to find out if the yellow substance was added later, possibly by Tabby, or if it was there and he's colorblind. I'd hate if they doubled up the colorblind thing, because we already did that in Trials and Tribulations. But then again, we've also did twins in Trials and Tribulations, then we did twins again in Spirit of Justice, so well. There's something you're clearly hoping that we've forgotten. What are you talking about? There isn't. That's not true. Unluckily for you, we remember it rather well. I'm talking, of course, about the yellow speckles on the president's chest. Clam, this little boy might be a murderer. So Clam, just think, your little Henry one day could grow up to be a 13-year-old murderer. Just by which I don't mean a murderer of 13-year-olds, but a 13-year-old who is a murderer, just like this kid. You've studiously avoided mentioning them throughout your testimony. An absence I find suspicious, to say the least. It's either that he didn't see it, or he spilled the yellow on it himself, and he's worried that would make him suspicious, right? Okay. I whizzed on him. I whizzed dry flakes. I'm dying. It's actually a really bad health condition. Huh?
If he murders someone, I hope he has the sense to do it by age 9 so he isn't tried as an adult.
I hope he does it by age 7 so he's not considered morally accountable. So he's too little. And it's just like, okay, it's free pass. You're fine. But wait, hang on. Does that mean that if you at age 10, that's old enough to be tried as an adult? I would think you'd have to be like at least a teenager and then have extenuating I always want to put an R in there. Extenuating circumstances. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate it. I hope that you'll like mentor him in the proper ways to like dispose of the body though. You know? Just not that we endorse that here, but I'm just saying if it happens, it's good to have a good dad. But thank you for the 10 bits, Clam. How are you? How's your weekend going? I hope for your sake that you have a satisfactory explanation. Lots of dots. Judge Gavel? Allow me to explain. But the yellow residue on the president's chest, I imagine it was from a bouquet of flowers. Lion lilies, to be precise. Did she give him flowers when they met on the rooftop? Oh, were they romantically involved? Lion lilies? 2 nights ago, when I met the president on the roof of the big building, I presented him with a bouquet. They're a type of lily with large yellow petals. I imagine that the substance on President Wang's chest was pollen from those flowers. Like a day later? But did he not change his clothes? They're not there in the printout from the security camera. So we're going to say that she's like holding them in the photo there down below his massive shoulder. Only because the president is in the way. But why give him flowers? I wanted to do him all night long. I mean, that is not something I'm at liberty to divulge. She likes him muscly. Some girls are into that. What? More secrets? Are you serious? First, you wouldn't tell us why you met with him, and now you can't even tell us about the flowers. My sincerest apologies, but all I can tell you is that I gave him the bouquet. Does that mean she gave him the flowers on behalf of somebody else? On behalf of maybe Rosie Ringer? Maybe the president was also someone that Rosie Ringer wanted to take revenge on. But how would that tie into this? How would the flowers lead to that giant head falling on him and crushing him? Maybe they're really like potent smelling and there was somebody hiding and the cue was when he gets there and you'll be able to smell the flower. Now that's a stretch. That's a stretch. And again, it could be Tabby Lloyd. I'm still suspecting her. And plus, Rosie Ringer would have already been dead. Because what time did Rosie Ringer die? She should have already been dead at that point, yeah?
I think? I can't remember even which day. Was it 2 days ago that Rosie Ringer died or the day before? I don't even remember. My sincerest apologies, but all I can tell you is that I gave him the bouquet.
Objection!
A bouquet that was nowhere near the body when it was discovered. How do you explain that? I cannot.
Ha! Seriously, Your Honor? Some things you won't explain, the rest you can't. Come on, you gotta give us something here. You wouldn't let this fly in the courtroom. What makes you think we'll accept it? Hey, you leave her alone!
Sean!
I threw the flowers away, okay? I got allergies that made me sniffly.
You did? So they were there when you first found the body?
Yeah, they were right there on his chest.
Why would you throw them away? Maybe they had his, like, mom's name on it, like, from Verity Gavell, and he's like, crap, this will implicate her?
And they were squashed completely flat.
Oh, I guess that makes sense, right? They would have gotten crushed along with the president. And the pollen would have been smeared across his jacket front. That does explain things rather neatly. But why remove the bouquet and dispose of it?
No reason.
He's almost as evasive as his mother. But Queen Katie said that was our only cross-examination, so clearly we're not going to do the cross-examination. So just in case the game asks us to present evidence, I better save. And let's also read some chat. Oh, and we're over the 2-hour mark, by the way. Time flies. Nora said, Crystal, I'm gonna tell my mom this. I'm gonna tell my mom this. She knows everything about you. My mom knows about the fact that you think 86 Fahrenheit is cold. Quick said, oh, I'm realizing Sean's theme has a blaring question mark guitar. Crystal says, quote, but YN stutters, her blue orbs glancing shyly toward you and tucking her messy blonde hair behind her ears. Don't you want me to join me and be friends with famous people and go to parties with Jackson Wang? Ooh, hands doing this. Nora said, I'm gonna beat you up. Crystal says, no. Quigan said, Crystal, you just did damage to me on the same level as light mode for Logan. Nora said, I'm glad. Oh, excuse me. Why am I saying glad? I'm screenshotting that, Crystal. You are never living this down. Crystal says, I brought war flashbacks. I know. Quigan said, don't worry. Could have been worse. Could have been Italia. That's the one where all the countries of the world are people, right? I've heard of that. I used to know a girl who was like super into Italia. Let me check over on YouTube real quick as well. Crap, I gotta scroll up a little bit again. Bone says, either he forgot to close the backpack or isn't that great a one? That is a long gavel. That just seems inconvenient. It's telescopic, though. Derma says, a knifeless bouquet this time. Jack says, it folds up into a normal-sized one. It's actually very convenient. Yeah, because then you can have any size you want. Bone says, but why, though? Jack says, for her own splash screen. Bone says, for self-defense as a makeshift weapon. Jack says, perhaps. Jose says, hi, how you doing, Jose? Welcome! You made it. I hope you're doing good. I hope your weekend's going well. How are you doing? Derma says, hi, Jose, and Bone says, hello there. Back over on Twitch, Oak said, I've been replaying Undertale and doing a genocide run. I've still never finished it. I need to beat Sans. Just beat Sans first try? Oh, because you're replaying, because you've done it before. I figure once you've done it before. Because, like, I remember the first time doing Undying the Undying. It was kind of hard. And then I got the hang of it. And then my nephew wanted to beat Undying the Undying and couldn't, and needed me to beat her for him. And then he forgot to save, and I had to do it again. And then he forgot to save again, in quotes, because I think he just wanted to see me do it again. And I beat her again. Nora said, Oak, check DMs. Crystal says, I don't know what Italia is. It's an anime where all the countries of the world are represented by people, I think mostly, if not all, just like pretty boys. So there. Quick Gator said, good, never get into it. It is a fandom grip full of cringe you'll never get out alive and move on from. Crystal says, oh my gosh, Logan is going to get to my YN roleplays. Quick Gator said, YN is your name, I believe, Logan. Nora said, Crystal, I'm never forgiving you for this. Quick Gator said, my dad says hi and good night. Hi and good night, King Katie's dad. Hang on, I'm like almost out of water here. We're also getting close to the 2.5 hour mark ish. We got like 15 minutes. So if anybody wants to start keeping an eye out for raid suggestions, now would be a pretty good time to start looking. He's almost as evasive as his mother. More secrets? They're quite a pair.
I've done the Sans fight so many times that it's just burned into my muscle memory now. For some reason the Undying fight is significantly harder for me.
Really?
It took me 40 minutes to do Undyne and like 5 to do Sans.
Maybe it's because Undyne has a lot of the if I remember correctly, doesn't Undyne have the parts where like the things will come from different directions? They have the arrows, you need to press them in certain ways, and sometimes they'll come and then they'll zip around to the other side, and so you need like a lot of reaction time. Whereas I think with Sans, it's more like, okay, I see this loaded up and I know how to deal with this, I just got to do it quickly. So your reaction is more like, here's this segment rather than in this segment I need to react like 6 times to things, maybe. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate that. We're gonna keep playing. Once we get some background music, I'll read some more in the chat though. There is no secret. I know exactly why Sean disposed of the bouquet. Ah! You saw me leave the house with it, didn't you? Oh, was he just angry? Doesn't want the president of a foreign country to be his new dad? Does he miss his real dad? And not want his real dad replaced? Is that how this is? And so he was like, I'm glad you're... Oh, crap, because that'll give him a motive for killing. It's like he's dating your mom. Oh, I get it. When you saw the flowers on the president's body, you remembered seeing your mom with them. So it's either that he doesn't want his mom to be implicated, or it's like, you can't have my mom, dead guy. And felt the need to prevent her from coming under suspicion. No, you got it all wrong. That's his least convincing lie yet. Bouquet data jotted down in my organizer. A bouquet of lion lilies given to President Wang by Judge Cavell, recovered from on top of his body by Sean. President Wang's autopsy report data updated in my organizer. A cause of death crushing, time of death April 5th.
I killed him because he did my mom.
Oh, okay. Well, wow, there it is. That was a long pause. We don't know. Maybe he just wanted to do her. We don't know when the doing did or did, if it's future tense, past tense, current tense, if they were currently in the process of doage when the bullhead fell. I don't know. I don't know how people do things. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate it. But that's the type of thing a kid would do, right? It's like, you're not my dad. You would think that someone would want a president of another country, even if he's an awful person, because then you're like the president's kid. Step kid. But yes, I want to see what was updated in the autopsy report there. I always love it when Edgeworth updates our autopsy reports. So, residue, there, flecks of yellow substance found stuck on clothing identified as lion lily pollen. Well, we're assuming we still could be wrong. Still could be mustard. I often decorate our home with lion lilies. I imagine that's why he remembered.
So the flowers his mother was carrying showed up on the president's body. And because of that, he got rid of the bouquet and kept quiet about having discovered the corpse. Ha! Well, that ties everything up nicely, doesn't it? A little too nicely for my tastes. Why? What's wrong with nice? I like nice people and nice things. And nice pictures and nice stories and nice food and nice candy. I guess you forgot, huh? I had amnesia, okay? Gosh. The kid also told us that he was responsible for the head falling in the first place. Yeah, he did, but... So he's still our only suspect.
The finger of suspicion still seems to be pointing firmly in Sean's direction. However... Wait! I can think of a far more likely culprit than the boy. Oh, you can? We're gonna say Excelsius, probably. Although it's not him, it's not gonna be Excelsius. If it's not Sean, then it's gotta be Tabby, right? I think? I don't know. I don't know anymore. This game is confusing me. This doesn't have a lot of suspects.
Huh? Who?
The person who was holding Sean captive until only a short while ago. Oh, the mysterious mastermind. Because we didn't see who it was. And it was still very suspicious that the way that Sean was kidnapped was the type of thing someone could do by yourself. Like climb into the trunk, be carried over. It was like automated kidnapping. I gotta read some more in the chat. Let's see. Nora says, I already know Logan's name. Does he know he also said it in a video once? I assume accidentally. Probably. It's been there. It's out there. But Beowulf still wants me to stop doxing myself. Aww. Crystal says, it all started in Wattpad, a fanfiction app. YN means your name. Oh, that was pinned earlier. Yeah. Oak said, just beat Undertale genocide again. Nora said, Oak, check DMs. Oak said, I did, and I didn't like what I saw. Nora said, I'm never forgiving Crystal for this. Oak says, I miss Vero. Queen Gator said, we're teaching Logan fandom. Crystal says, YN is very stereotyped to someone who's, oh, that was pinned earlier. And then Crystal said, Logan is witnessing the YN lore. See, I didn't know what the joke was. I thought it was, I knew it was obviously self-insert fanfiction joke, but I didn't know what YN made. That makes so much more sense now. Queen Gator said, wait, if bulls are red blind, then why the hate red trope with them? I think it's just one of those weird legends that things come up with. Maybe it's just like the shaking the flag that got them going and people assumed it was red. Maybe red is more for the people in the crowd and they just said it was bulls. It could also just be that for years and years they thought it and they found it later. It's like, huh, we were completely wrong. So I'm not sure. Nora said, I'm talking specifically about Attack on Titan Grey Alien YN. Crystal says, you'll see how I act in the messages. Queen Gator said, I sort of wish I was muted the whole time. My phone is literally by monitor speakers. Wait, what? What was I doing that was unpleasant? Nora says, oh no. Queen Gator said, I know who to blame if I ever see it on my For You page. Oh, so you're saying that the algorithm is going to hear about YN now? Because we're talking about YN. Talking about YN a lot. So the algorithm knows that Queen Katie Bat on Twitter.com, on TikTok.com, on Wattpad, on AO3.com, loves YN. Loves YN. YN, Attack on Titan, Aaron Yeager, Levi, wait, crap, what's Levi's last name? I want to say Ackerman, but I think that's Misaka, right? No, what's Misaka's last? I don't even remember their last names. It's been so long since I watched Attack on Titan, YN. Did that work? Did it work? Crystal says, Nora and Queen Gator with the timestamp 2:01:18. Oh, still look at that, only 20 minutes behind. Let me take a look over on YouTube chat. Jack says, I love all the fake DS instruments used in this game. It makes me want a full instrumental remake of the soundtrack. We only get a taste of it in this game. Oh, does this game have remade music? What are we on? Are we on the old music? Or is this the new music? I'm not sure now. Derma says, the DS era of music has a soft spot in my heart, enough power to experiment with still limitations, giving it a distinct sound. Jack says, true. Bone says, speaking of, the secret boss to Delta... Oh, okay, I gotta scroll. Derma says, the trend for Toby's secret bosses has been... okay, there's more talking about it. I'm sorry, I'm just being overcautious. She'll be overcautious. That's more... Okay. Oh, and Bone says, going to bed now. See ya, everyone. Good night, Bone. Thank you so much for hanging out. And Derma says, bye, Bone. Okay, I got to start a new water. I'm going to sip it. We're going to read some game because it's just reading. And again, almost 2.5 hours. Now a good time to keep out for raid suggestions. The person who was holding Sean captive only a short while ago. That's right. Hey, Tiff. Yeah, you there, Tiff? You still watching? I show up once every hour. That's right. We had to rescue him from a warehouse refrigeration unit down by the harbor. Is that going to be important that he was in a refrigeration unit? Because that could threaten your life, right? Would he have hopped in there intentionally? Oh, that's Gumshoe saying it now, so he didn't say that in the past. I was going to say I feel like I didn't. Maybe he said that before and I just forgot. A refrigeration unit in a depot? Yeah, it's present day Gumshoe. I got colors on, yeah. That's all I did, yeah. Then I cut away. Luckily, it wasn't switched on. Poor kid might have frozen into a popsicle otherwise. Okay, so then... Oops, sorry. If it wasn't turned on, then yeah, he might have done that on his own. I still think the kidnapping might have been staged. I don't know why, or if that relates to this. Or then what the kidnapper phone call was all about. Or how Tabby might be involved in that. Maybe Tabby is the killer, but Sean unwittingly helped her? He was doing his best to call out for help, which is how we found him. The sedatives had worn off by then, so he was wide awake and plenty loud. Wait, is this new? Do we know that he had sedatives in his system? Sedatives? Isn't that what you were given too? Yeah, we found the bottle on the floor of the unit. Okay, so is that why you assumed that he had sedatives in his system? Because maybe he didn't. Maybe the bottle was there to make you think he had been given sedatives, that he had been drugged. And that ties him to sedating Kay. So this is once again making Sean look suspicious. It was even the same brand. Oh yeah, triple Z's or something? Yeah, 3 Z's. Apparently it's super strong. Sensitive data jotted down by organizer used on both Kay and Sean during their kidnapping. Brand name is 3 Z's. I might be entirely wrong, but I'm just guessing, you know? Because sometimes the evidence notes that he writes down isn't accurate and find out later, oh, I was wrong. Well, Agent Lang, surely that suggests that Sean is a victim, not a suspect. Somebody else was responsible, and I think they've been behind all of this.
Oh yeah? And this secret mastermind of yours was here last night too?
That I can't yet say.
Ha! It's not like you to be so vague, Mr. Prosecutor.
Sadly, we just don't have anything to tie our mysterious kidnapper to the murder of the president. So, is there anybody else? Somebody other than Sean who could have committed the murder? Okay, I'm going to say again, I think the only person we can say right now with the evidence we have would be Excelsius Winter, because he was there hiding inside of the suit, but I don't think it was him. They're both kind of in the same pose, too. Okay, he's gonna say Excelsius. Of course!
So I was right. The kid is still our only suspect.
But the mastermind before was like, thanks for getting Excelsius caught for me, and so referring to Excelsius as a different person. And I think was also talking to us on the phone while Excelsius was on the stand, right? Not quite. I can think of another. Somebody who we just recently proved was right here on the movie set last night. Oh, and the game isn't even making me pick.
Chairman Winter? You think he killed President Wang?
You know, when his picture like this, he just looks like a mountain with a human face on top of it. Because it's just like, this is the ground. This is ground right here. And it's mountain and then face. I'm going to read some more in the chat. Crystal says she started it. Nora said blame Logan. Crystal says, you know what? You right. Queekita said, yeah, true. Logan is the one reading it out loud. I'll blame him. Queekita said, we're 2 hours now and haven't done a thing with this kid. Lol. We cross-examined him once. Nora said, Logan, my mom knows everything about you. Oh yeah? What's my shoe size? There's where Clam came in and said, yes, you sang to me. Queekita said, get ready for a long plot chat. Crystal says, Nora, oh Nora, I'm typing in Discord. Nora said, no, my house is making scary noises. Crystal says, Nora. Nora said the other day, the shadow people came to my house at like 2 in the morning and they wouldn't leave me alone. You're saying the shadow people came to your house as if that is like a real thing that we should believe actually happened, huh?
Is it a 10.5?
Crap!
I feel like I've heard you say your shoe size before. Blue.
Ah! Yes! That's my shoe size. Okay, 10.5. How about my sleeve length? So if I buy a dress shirt, my sleeve length. There we go. Yeah, how about that? How about that? I don't know why it's like clothing sizes, but this was popping into my head. Let's see. Nora says, Batty Verity. Queekita said, if Logan gets to it quick enough, I could finally do my fun beef longer. Crystal says, Nora, I'm gonna double down. Clam says, I don't know, I always hear like 12-year-olds where they're going to charge them as adults. Seems like the level of public outrage is proportional to the likelihood that you get charged as an adult. So, yeah, you know what? We should believe in children. Children are our future. Believe in 10-year-olds to be able to be charged as adults, huh?
It's 33 inches. I know because I'm cool.
Oh, crap. I think I know because you found my agent's website and they probably have all my wardrobe sizes on there. Crap. So I gotta think of something else. You guys know, so you have access to my sizes. You know my favorite color. There's got to be something you guys don't know. There's got to be. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate that. Crystal says, kids can be tried as adults. Yes, depends on the crime, mostly murder. Nora said, I'm going to burn Crystal at the stake. No! Oak says, we have led like 300 quotes since January this year. That's insane. And Oak with a raid suggestion. Oh, Weedle is still raiding, or streaming. Let me copy that down over here. Because Weedle doesn't stream very often. So there we go. Thank you very much. Nora says, I'm going to cry. Crystal says, ew. Logan reading it. Keyboard slam. Oh, what? Your YN fiction? Queekata said, Logan knows Italia. No, I've never seen it myself. It is an anime, right? It's not like a game or something. I think it's an anime. I've seen like pictures of it, and I've heard of it secondhand. Let me take a quick look over at YouTube again. Jack says, the cross-examination and pursuit themes in this and AAI1 were redone in the collection. I still love the, what's it called, Lying Coldly. I still use that as a pre-show music in this, in our streams for this from the first game. And then Jack says, bye bone. Derma says, musicians tend to make demos with sound fonts. Sound fonts? Which DS Music use a lot, and then replace them with recordings after, but I've been conditioned to like sound fonts, so I tend to like the demos more. I didn't even know sound fonts were a thing. That's interesting. So is that just like, I guess, the what the instruments sound like? I that would make sense, I guess? Crystal says, rip. Queen Gator says, man. Nora says, someone yell at me and keep my hands away from my eyes. Nora! Keep your hands away from your eyes. Stop plugging out your eyelashes. What if it rains and you need to keep rainwater out of your eyeballs? Ha! Queen Gator said, Nora, no! Clam said, what is Italia? Like I said, it's anime if every country was a person. Queen Gator said, oh, fine. Think countries, but human. The manga / anime's plot takes place during World War II with Axis powers. The fandom goes a little too much, yes. Nora said, I feel like I wouldn't want that to be when you would do it about countries of the world. I mean, I guess it would inherently allow you to have conflict, but especially if it's from Japan, because I don't know if you guys know history and know which side Japan was on. Nora said, reminds me of my country humans phase in the internet, shiver. And Queen Gator said, yes, Nora, exactly. It's the anime country humans. Okay, let's play some more. Chairman Winner, you think he killed President Wang? Why not? We've proven that he was present. And president. President. And now we're going to establish a precedent. A precedent for a present president. And if he was here, he's a viable suspect. Oh, wait, no, sorry. No, he's not president. He's a committee chairman. I guess he's not the president of the committee. He's the chairman of the committee. Darn it! But he was here present with the president, so he set a precedent for being present with the president. There we go. As a viable suspect as anybody else, wouldn't you say? Winner? Could he really have? It's certainly another possibility to consider. 12 years ago, he was ... That number again. Oh, you don't flash back to one thing. People all game have been saying 12 years ago crap. Look, a lot happened, okay? That was all 12 years ago or more.
Speaking of sound fonts, I love sound fonts. I use sound fonts constantly in my music, and I have the Undertale sound fonts, which has so much gold in it and also so much useless stuff, but they are amazing and so CPU efficient. Boo.
Oh, that was so long, I thought that maybe there'd be no boo. You'd take mercy on me, but thank you for the 10 bits, so that means Dermo, you and Oak should be friends, because Oak is like big into audio stuff like that. A lot of it goes way over my... Oh, crap, Clam, you're still here, right? Are you still here, Clam? I wanted to ask you, because I was trying to look up stuff about the CPU and the processor I need to get. How I apparently need an 8th generation Intel processor, because I got an Intel i7 770, and I need apparently an Intel 870. Is that right, Oak? I need you to confirm things for me, Clam. Let's play some more of the game. My father and the president being friends. Our family being the ones who kept him safe. Lang, like the Lang from 12 years ago? Yep. Good to see that you're finally about to pay for your crimes. Even if it did take a while for you to get what was coming to you. Agent Lang, what happened 12 years ago? Yes, finally! The last time he was talking about it, Edgeworth is like, oh, I shouldn't ask. Oh, I want to be polite. Just ask. Finally, let's find out. There's nothing to do with you. No! Please, Lang. Pretty please, Lang. Pretty please with sugar on top, Lang.
That is not the naming scheme, but that was lovely.
Oh.
You need an i5 8400 or higher, I think. Although if you are getting a new CPU and motherboard, I strongly recommend getting something else. You can get far better for roughly the same price now. Boo.
Ah! Thank you for the 10 bits. Part of me, like, I need to have a fundraiser. and raise the couple $100s to at least that. But also, I feel like, what if I uncap the fundraiser and said like, hey, or raise like $1,000 or $2,000 to get an entirely new computer altogether, just new everything. But there's like obviously no way you'd be able to raise. I feel bad. Like there are other streamers my size in terms of follower count and average viewer count and stuff like that, who I'll see do fundraisers and will raise like thousands of dollars. And I don't know how to do Twitch fundraisers right, apparently. But thank you very much for the 10 bits, Oak. I appreciate that.
Has nothing to do with you.
I think it has everything to do with me. It's clearly connected to this case. Thank you for the follow-up, Edgeworth.
And you can prove that, can you?
I'm sure that some of our evidence mentions 12 years ago. Probably multiple pieces of evidence. Let's save just in case we pick the wrong one, because I'm sure he's going to ask us.
Go ahead and show me some proof that what happened 12 years ago has anything to do with this.
It's probably the notes that were allegedly between Kay and Rosie Ringer, right? Proof?
If you can't prove it, this conversation's over.
Does any of the evidence we've collected show a link between recent events and those of 12 years ago? Yeah, because the note, if I remember correctly, says, thanks so much for helping with my plan, and we both get what we want. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago. Signed, K, although it wasn't K. Let's just check to make sure nothing else. That's just going to be layout, creature feature flyer, monster footprints, autopsy report, Torosaurus head. Okay, I don't remember the recording set. I don't know if I mentioned 12 years ago. That doesn't. Security camera footage, drive the big building, Miss Hart statement, 51st floor storeroom, night before last, didn't see the president pass through, the blue truck, Sean rehearsal tape, mechanic gloves, IS-7 case file incident, that's all 18 years ago, so it has nothing to do with 12 that I know of so far. Report on Knight, does that also mention 12 years ago? You're right, darling, some sort of connection between Knight and Canis. As you know, we've been trying to find out who Canis and his silly correspondence chest James with. Well, now we know. I'll be pulling Knight into my office for a thorough grilling tomorrow, and I'll make that worm admit he's Canis's lackey if it's the last thing I do. So oh, there we go, late arrest 12 years ago, it's also there. I'm sure it's right there with the plan. So it could be the note or it could be this. I feel like this is a bit more relevant. Knight's possessions, the bug, Ms. Lloyd's tape recording signals intercepted, the bouquet, or the sedative. Okay, so it's either the report on Knight or the notes passed between Kay and Rosie Ringer. The Kay and Rosie Ringer, though, although that is going to be relevant at some point, we could theoretically say that just ties into the last murder case, the murder of Rosie Ringer by Excelsius Winner. So let's try this. If it doesn't work, though, we will reload and try the notes. Yes?
I think with the current market, getting the bare minimum for Windows 11 is a bad idea. BC those fists are all discontinued, so they resell for like $50.80, and for that price you can get a 5,500 or 5,600 from AMD and get so much better. That would put you
on a platform with a lot of upgradability and great performance and no booze. Awesome. But AMD, so are you just saying like don't get Intel, get AMD instead? Is that like is that also a name brand or is that a cheaper? Because I know whenever I would go to, back when I was like trying to get this computer, I was looking around stuff, I was always seeing the brand Asus. And that just struck me as like the Kirtland brand of computers. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just kind of felt like it. I guess not as bad as Insignia. I think Insignia was like, is that Best Buy's brand, I think? But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I do appreciate that. But yeah, Clam says he's gonna come over sometime and hang out with me, and while hanging out, we're like jot down some notes about what I need to get for the computer stuff. Okay, so let's try presenting this evidence here.
Take that!
This is a report about Bronco Knight. It was sent to Chairman Winner by Warden Lagarde. The last part in particular should be of interest to you.
Retrieve the package we laid to rest 12 years ago in front of the planter?
And that's not all. Take a look at this. Oh, so with both of them. So, is this going to be one of those things where I could have presented either? I like it when they do that, when they're nice. It would have been better if they maybe said, I have two of them. Pick the two things. I'll read some more in the chat when the music comes back. This letter was sent to Rosie Ringer, the victim of a murder that happened the night before last. We don't know who sent it, but it does say this. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago! Now I'll read some more in the chat. Nora with some emotes. Clam says, I'm confused. That doesn't sound like the worst / cringiest manga / anime with the pa-pa-pa.
You are very wrong. Asus is like the top of the line stuff for now.
Oh, it is?
Intel and AMD are both competitors, both very good, but AMD is generally much better for the price and they support each generation much longer. Intel abandons generations every few years and AMD
Usually keeps them for like 10 years. Oh, and I see slashes, so I'm not going to say the word after that because it would be too scary. It would be too scary. But think of the 10 bits. Okay, so I guess I was wrong about Asus. Maybe just because I never heard of I'm going to tell you what brand my computer is, and you'll probably say, that's the worst brand. I got an HP. I don't know if that's good or not. I was like looking at one point around computers online, and I saw one that is like, oh, this looks like it's top of the line. Well, not top of the line, but like much, much better than mine. But it's like, it was like $2,000 or something, because it's pre-built, but I don't know how to build a computer. But yeah, Clam, I don't know if it itself is necessarily the cringiest / worse. I think it might just be a fandom thing. I've never actually seen it, so I can't verify, though, for Hitalia. Quicketa said, imagine a bunch of World War II German cosplayers who are way into German history and doing the Nazi stuff, because the focus of the series was on the Axis powers, aka Japan, Italy, and Germany, so there's a lot of bias there. See, it's like I said, because that's the side Japan was on. Crystal says to Nora, check Discord. Clam said to Queen Katie, Oh. Nora said, I'm getting terrible flashbacks to something Oak said today during the stream. What was it? Queen Katie says, yeah, normal Hitalia fans have moved on to better anime and we have never looked back. Crystal says, of course, Miles, out of all people, would want to update autopsy reports. And then to Queen Katie says, Crystal, I'm getting you involved too. Check Logan's general. Queen Katie said, wait, what? Nora said, Katie, no, don't do it, Katie. Atlantic said, do it, Katie. How you doing, Atlantic? Welcome. Queen Katie says, I'm dead. Also, to 2020. Still 20 minutes behind. I'm staying right in the 18 to 20 minute range. I guess I should feel good about that. And we are past the 2.5 hour mark, so one more call for raid suggestions for later on. Let's take a look over at YouTube. Dermo says, hey, I have the Undertale sound font too. The music box preset is killer. Jack says, Logan, what insert year ago was the most annoying to hear in this series? That is a good question. How many years ago was the DL6 incident? Because I feel like that was like, I know that was like the first one, so maybe it just felt like it was going on longer. Was that like 6 years ago, 7 years ago? No, actually, maybe it was Phoenix in Apollo Justice with the 7 years ago, because there was no reason to be that vague about it for that long, other than to like add drama and suspense for the player. Like the characters should have talked to each other. So it'd be one of the two, either the DL6 incident or the Apollo Justice one. That would be my guess. What do you think? An opinion says 12 years ago in all caps. Okay, good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago.
What? But
Something strange is going on, Agent Lang. Ms. Ringer was murdered the night before last, and President Wang not long afterward. So they were both involved in whatever happened 12 years ago. So somebody is picking up people. So does that mean that maybe Rosie Ringer did something bad? No, because that she was the victim. So the person who did the bad thing is doing murders of people who either were the victims of 12 years ago or who knew about it and might try to take revenge? There's a connection between the two murders. There has to be. And I believe we can trace that connection to events 12 years in the past. Am I wrong?
these are old wounds you're opening here. Insults to my family name.
Please, Agent Lang, we need to know. Huh? Who on earth was that? Well, apparently not Eustace, because Chad already told me Eustace isn't coming back. It could be Franziska. It could be, it's not going to be that man, obviously. It could be Shelly DeKiller, maybe. No. Realistically, Franziska, yeah? Because she's also working with Interpol, but she's not old enough to have been involved in whatever was 12 years ago. Oh, let's just see who it is. Oh, it's gonna be his man, Shifu. Ah, his goons! Lang's got his goons back. Ah, it's gonna be a goon party up in here. It's gonna be so much goon action up in here.
Huh? What are you all doing here?
We came to find you, sir. We heard you were looking into the incident from 12 years ago.
Ha! Idiots! I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your duties. Duties right now.
We can't do that, sir.
Huh? You're disobeying a direct order?
Well, you're not their boss anymore, so they don't have to take your orders anymore, Shifu. Please, sir, I'm begging you, we all are. You have to reopen the investigation into the SS5 incident. Why always the number code names? We know you can't let go until you figured out what happened, and we can't either.
Growling like a wolf under my breath.
Well, Agent Lang, it seems your former underlings want the events of the past explained too. You hear that? Say underlings. Don't say goons.
You think it's that easy? That you could solve the case just like that?
I think we can. Together. Boom, chicka, boom, boom.
Ah! Well, all right then. Offer accepted.
Yes, Shifu, there's hubbub noises going around. That's right, it only takes 3 people to hubbub. 3 goons make a hubbub.
Nice! Then I guess it's my turn to step up.
I'm sorry, Kay.
You're looking into a case from the past, right? I just happen to have something to help with that.
Little Thief can look back 12 years ago? Maybe we'll find out where the planter is. Ah, you mean Mr. Thief. Thief-san. Thief-sama.
Sure do. If you could give me the details of the incident, I can rustle up a little simulation for you.
Sadly, we don't have the files related to the case.
How come?
Access to those files is restricted. They're top secret.
Really? What if I wanted to be a bottom secret? Why?
Beats me. Somebody must have something to hide. Even I've never seen them. Everything I know, I read in newspaper articles from the time.
That's fine. Just tell us what you can.
All right.
We're finally doing this? We're finally gonna find out about what happened 12 years ago. The SS5 incident. ... All right, let's also save again. Haven't done that in a little while, and I'll read a few more comments in the chat. We're finally getting this here. Nora says, I'm gonna throw a pebble at Crystal, and when it hits her, it will just be a boulder, huh? How does that work? Nora said, Katie, watch out. Queen Gator said, joke's on you, I muted. Nora said, it's Ackerman. So it is Ackerman? Then what was Mikasa's last name? I thought it was, I can't even remember. Oak says, I want to say Ackerman as if he's wrong. Crystal says, it's Mikasa, not Misaka. Sorry, I said that wrong too. It's been so long since I've watched. I guess it hasn't been that long. It's probably just last year, actually. Crystal says, Mikasa and Levi had the same surname. Yes, okay, so that's why I got confused. Nora said, I remember what you said during stream today, and I am upset. A terrible thing. Quickita said, well, I guess my beef longa and special name fact will be next stream. Is it for the SS5 incident? Maybe? Oak said, what did I say? Nora said to Queen Katie, I thought you're like to know that my Pinterest widget right now is Bumblebee. And then 2 Akushwan posts. Nora said, when Kyoko was typing fast. Quickita says, noise. Oak said, blame Kyoko for typing that fast. Nora said, I'm blaming you. You didn't need to say what you said. And Lang said, as a medium here, it was definitely Kyoko's fault. Nora said, bro, she was just talking to alter ego. Nora said, Oak did not need to bring up Celeste. Crystal says, as a medium, it was Hifumi's fault. Can we just always blame Hifumi for everything? I should check some over in the YouTube chat because we've got some more stuff over there. Jack says, man, even with all the criticisms thrown at AA4 is still nearly tied for my favorite game with AA3. I'm one of the few people who absolutely love everything to do with Hobo Phoenix and his story. Phoenix, isn't that what chat was saying? The fans call him Phoenix. There were some good things in it. It's not my favorite. There were also some frustrating things, but it was good. Phoenix also was like way too good at lawyering in that game. I think my biggest frustration with the game actually isn't that game's fault. It's the fact that the whole premise of the game, or at least a major premise of it, is perpetrated on the fact that they need to create a new system of law. They need the jurist system, right? And it's all this build up to trying out the jurist system. It's like, oh great, people have rights, finally, right to a jury, trial by jury. And then the next game is just like, well, Dark Age of the Law. It's like, what happened? No, okay, all right, no jury, Dark Age of the Law, all right, okay. Although I do love Dual Destinies, but it didn't feel like it flowed directly one to the other, especially the way Phoenix also just, I got my badge back. Yeah, it's fine now. Dermot says Hobo Phoenix is best Phoenix. He was definitely the best at his job, just not good at being a pianist with a T. Dermot says, also the first case coming out swinging from the start, immediately engaging. That is fair. That is like a downside, I would say, to Dual Destinies. It like that one. It's just, they were trying to be a bit too clever with the time frame stuff. Jack says, yeah, I really wish he kept that attitude and mindset even if it were to become a lawyer again in DD. He just completely resets because people didn't like AA4 and now he's forever stuck as AA1 Phoenix. Dermot said they hated him because he spoke the truth. Jack says, 4-1 is the best tutorial case in my opinion. 4-1 Culprit is actually such an underrated villain. Jack says, that's too true. I thought he earned being too good at his job. And that's fair. But it just feels like then he regressed afterward, like you guys were saying. Back over here on Twitch. Queen Katie said, my internet died for a second. The heart attack I had. Is it back? Are you back? Are you a ghost? Queen Katie? Nora said 10. The shadow people often come to my house. Crystal said, sorry, mine and Vero's cat shark nibbled on the wires. Nora said, the shadow people are when it's late and dark and I start seeing shadows move around my house and they are shaped like people. Nora. Those aren't shadow people. Those are people who've broken into your house and want to steal your stuff and do harm to all of your loved ones. That's all it is. Creegator said it was so quick to got a buffer, so I asked chat, hey, am I the only one with the buffer? Then my internet died, and it didn't even send the message. Well, I'm glad it's back now. Unless you're a ghost without the internet. That's always frustrating when that happened. I'm sorry, Queen Katie, I hope you didn't get stuck in a pre-roll ad when you reloaded. Crystal says, oof. Oak said, okay, the sleeve size was from the website, but I legit knew the shoe size by heart for some reason. I don't know why I remember that. And Crystal with some raid suggestions. Thank you very much, Crystal. Let me copy these over into our text file, because how far are we from the 3-hour mark? Oh crap, we're less than 10 minutes away. So yeah, I do need to start keeping an eye out. So we got some raid suggestions now. Thank you very much, Crystal. I mean, thank you, Oak, as well. And we will check out and see if Weedle's still streaming and so forth. Oak said, imagine if I didn't use the website though, and I just knew telepathically. That'd be scary. If you were just able to watch me from like the improv videos that I posted on Discord to be able to like gauge my size. You know, it's like those people who will take a picture of somebody and then say, well, look, there's this object in the picture and that is exactly this many centimeters long. And if you line up with the person and add it up that many times, then this person must be this many centimeters tall. That'd be kind of weird. Oak said, Logan's face after hearing that was priceless laughing. Nora said, thank you, Logan. Quickita says, Awkward Zombie just posted another metaphor comic. This time it's about the sword surfing. Is Gallica in it for reasons? Crystal says, Japan was not good. I should know they stayed here in the Philippines for quite some time. Yeah, I mean, as much as I love modern day Japan, there are some real horror stories about what they did in back in the days. Crystal said, Lang, you being dead, real. I don't know a good euphemism for that right now. Broken heart. Quickett said, man, I could really feel the tears from Logan when Lang said it's nothing to do with you. And there's a timestamp 2:35:25. So how far am I behind? I probably need to read some more. Crystal says, I miss Vero. Me too. Nora said, I miss Rise. Crystal says, I miss Cove. Nora said, Oak took away my Rise privileges by sleeping too late. Oak said, question mark? Quickett said, same. How's that going, by the way? Nora said, no Rise until Wednesday, and it's all Oak's fault. Crystal says, Derek is such a cutie. I don't understand how people don't like him. He's such a great older brother. Considerate. Nora said, someone buy me plane tickets to Massachusetts. Quickgator said, note, I could have been either the forged letter or the report tonight. I still love it when the game goes easy on you like that. Do we need? Yes, because both said 12 years ago. I do think that the report was more relevant, but the letters was what came to my mind first. If I hadn't gone through every piece of evidence, I just would have presented that. It's nice to know that would have been correct. Quickgator said, right, especially in some of his moments, he shines so much. Bumbo says, boo, ah! Bumbo, I'm glad you're still here. Bumbo, you've been quiet for a while. Bumbo! Boombo. Oak said, I apologize for nerding out. Nora says to Oak, whenever me and my mom go to Massachusetts, can we stay with you? Crystal says, I'm on the part we shopping with Cove and Derek, getting lemonade. Oak said, I don't know, it depends on what my parents say. Nora says, okay. Oak says, HP is bad for the price, but their computers aren't necessarily bad. Quickita says, heck yeah, lemonade. Nora said, because like we'd probably want to stay for like more than just like 2 days or something, you know. You and I got a lot of stuff to do, and also hotels are really expensive. Let me take a look over at YouTube because I need to catch up. We're almost at 3 hour mark. I got to catch up to chat. Let's see. Gotta scroll up. See, Jack says that's too true. Oh, I read that. Jack said the writers switch between AA4 and 5 definitely cemented AA4 as an outcast of the game. Now, people have been talking about the writers. Like the writers of the original games, when did they stop? Was it at AA4 or after AA4? And then they switched back or to somebody else? I'm very confused by that sometimes. I can't remember things people tell me. Jack says, because the Japanese audience hated everything to do with AA4, the new writers felt inclined to almost completely retcon it to heck. Really? They didn't like Apollo? Is that why the Spirit of Justice ended the way it did? Derma says, I'd reconcile it by thinking of AA4 as one branch with the main series going to a different direction. An alternate universe, it works surprisingly well. Oh, so branching timelines. I'm fine with that. Durma says, because it's as if AA4 never happened. Jack says, is it too much to ask for coherent storytelling and just sticking to whatever was established rather than completely erasing it, rather than expanding upon it because it wasn't liked? Jack says, it makes me upset to know that we could have gotten another, what we could have gotten in another universe. Durma said, no, but it's what it is. TGAA, Greatest Attorney, has some of the darkness which AA4 had. That's right, in AA4, the Chief Justice's kid died of incuritis, which was awful. Incuritis, oh my gosh. Although I can't even complain as much about that after all the Kuranese names in Spirit of Justice. Jack says, the original creator wrote the first trilogy and AA4 and switched starting with AA5. Here's my only complaint. Well, I guess I wouldn't even call it a complaint, but a note, I suppose. As much as I love Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice is fun as well, I wish Dual Destinies, at the very least, had more kind of one-and-done cases. I like the Spirit of Justice went a bit back to it with the magical turnabout and the turnabout storyteller one. Although they still kind of tied in thematically, they were kind of symbolic for things that were going on in the main storyline. But I liked having that. I feel like the original games would have an overarching story, but they're also like fun individual adventures. Whereas some of the other games now kind of feel like it's all part of just one big adventure rather than lots of adventures, if that makes sense. And I kind of want lots of adventures, you know? Let's see, gotta read some more. Nora said, or read that Oak said, pre-built computers are normally like $100 to $600 more expensive. It depends on the deal you are getting and the price of the PC you are getting. The more expensive the computer, the more companies can get away with charging to build it. Nora said, can it be baddie bound? Logan, no! Logan, stop, what'd I do? Oak says, ad quote, it's gonna be so much goon action up in here. Nora said, Oak, do you have a guest room in your house? Oak says, yeah. Nora says, okay. I don't know about your dad, but your mom is just a chill guy, so hopefully that would work. Oak said, my dad is an even chiller guy. Queen Gator with the timestamp 2:45:35, so I'm still 10 minutes behind. I gotta get caught up. Crystal says, Logan, never check your Discord again. I was acting cringe. Oh, crap. So chat, I won't be able to post the schedule tomorrow. Nora said, perfect, and he knows me too, right? You showed him some clips. Oak said, all my dad does all day is watch movies, sleep, and eat strange food combinations. Nora says, okay, fire. Oak said, I have shown him clips, but he also constantly forgets who you are. He regularly forgets my partner's name, and I've been dating him for 2 years. Queen Katie says, add the quote, what if I want to be a bottom secret? Nora says, that's fair. Pin message by Vero! Vero, we have multiple times tonight been talking about how much we miss you. Vero says to Nora, we'll probably check in a bit. Vero's here! Vero's here, everybody! Vero, we've missed you! How are you? Nora says that's fair. Oak said, even friends, even friends, Oak says, even friends I've known my whole life, he just calls your friend who lives down the street. He also still refers to friends I haven't spoken to in years as if I still talk to them. Crystal adds the quote. Creator says, at this point, yeah, it's an SS5 incident thing. Oak said, like he said, the friend who lives in Redacted Town I haven't spoken to in person since 2nd grade. Nora crying face. Oak said, my dad is silly. Nora said, okay. Creator said, captions, it was Hipumi's. Oh, instead of Hifumi. Hipumi's fault. Nora with the lurk. Thank you for the lurk, Nora. Crystal says, Logan, the one who needs to be blamed is that stupid guy from DR2 Redacted. Maybe I still want to blame Hero from Danganronpa 1 more for stuff though. But yes. Quigita said, Cope, hope you don't get stuck in a pre-roll ad. Logan forgot I'm a sub. Oh, that's right! I forgot subs, they're immune to ads. Nora says, Unlurk, my mom doesn't like to hear about the shadow people. Well, thank you for the Unlurk. Quigita said, sadly, no, Gallica's not in the comic. Aw. Katie says, I miss Vero. See right there, Vero! Nora said, can someone get rid of shadow people in my home? Here's some trivia. Here's some Logan lore for you. This is real Logan lore. I have once performed an exorcism on a house. Like for realsies. I did that once. Nora says, do you think I can make enough money from streaming to get plane tickets to Massachusetts before the end of the year? Vera says, I heard someone missed me. Lots of people missed you, Vero. Nora says, Vero. Vera says, hi, chat. Queen Katie said, Vero, we're going to get Langlore soon. Nora said, Vero, I missed you. Not more than me say though. Sorry. Vera said, Langlore. Nora said, Vero, I have things to DM you. Queen Katie the timestamp 2:56:46. I'm 4 minutes behind. Let's take a look over on YouTube now. Okay. I gotta scroll up to wait, where was it?
Hello Logan, I've been genuinely collecting puns in the notes app to share with you, so look forward to that if I get 5 at least.
Yes, because that was Krista was doing for a while. Remember, for all of her dad's puns? I love those. Yes! Thank you, Vera, for the 10 bits. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to them. I'm excited. Y'all know how to make me a happy camper. Thank you for the 10 bits, and thank you in advance for the puns. Let's see, Jax says, the big problem with AA5 is that every case is out of order, which makes the game feel incoherent, like it's written poorly. I don't mind cases out of order like that. Like, I was able to follow along just fine, but some of the choices for why they were in the order they chose to put them in do seem a little arbitrary, but I still love number 5, mainly because of Bobby Fulbright. He's phenomenal. In justice we trust. Jack says, I love the main story in AA5, but the way it's presented makes it hard to enjoy. I can see that. Dermo says, see, I disagree. I like the order. It leaves some of the mysteries to linger. Well, here's one thing I will say about the order, because was it Beowulf who suggested to me to do the game in like chronological order? And I think it would be worse that way. I think the game is designed to be done out of order. Some of the choices for how it's done out of order, though, are a little odd. But I think the story is intentionally done that way, and I think doing it in chronological order kind of weird. It's kind of like how they did that one season of Arrested Development, where every episode was like the same events but from different characters' perspectives, and they did that because all the actors were off in different places and they couldn't get them all together, and so they would have like basically one or two at a time. And it made it really confusing, but then they also made a cut of it on Netflix that actually played it in chronological order, but then it doesn't make sense because there's stuff that like you find out late in the season that needs to be a late season reveal, but happens early on, and now you're seeing it early, and then the reveal, and it like kills the reveal. And I think Netflix has that as like the default way to watch it now, and it's like, no. I hope that made sense. I don't know if I described that well. Let's see. Yeah, Jack says, I'd expect my Messiah to be able to get rid of the demons. I think it can work, be the way it's done, just don't like the vibe with. Dermot said, don't tell the devil from the Bible about that. And Dermot says, Jack says, maybe that's why he left so quickly. Yeah, he could sense that. I don't know if what I did actually accomplished anything, but I performed it. Let's see. Where did I leave off the chat here? Vera says, to Nora, we'll probably check in a bit. Crystal adds a quote. Oak says, Vero. Crystal says, Vero. Vera says, hi. Nora said, why did you pin that? Crystal says, it was Vero's first message. Vera said, I've been hexed with the Oak curse. Crystal says, I don't care about the typo. Quiggin said, no, it wasn't lol. Vera said, the sleepiest soldier curse. Well, I mean, I feel bad because like you do need your sleep. I always feel bad when you're getting sleep deprived, but we miss you. Crystal says, oh, I didn't saw the first one. Vera said, it's okay, laughing. Crystal says, what? Nora says, what? Crystal says, Logan, what is this random lore? It's true. It is true. Nora said, please give us details. I was having dinner with a family, and they asked for an exorcism on their house. It was a very big house, very nice house, very nice big house. So yeah, there you go. Crystal says, you can't just leave us with just that. Said, how, what, when, where? House exorcism? Vera said, Logan actually got a game made based on him. Logan is the pro-tag of Faith, the game. Headcanon is real. Well, what is Faith, the game? Vera said, I gotta fix my sleep. I keep missing out on friends, hangout. And we miss you, but like your health is important though, so I can't feel like mad at you. Nora said, Oak, in like 10 minutes, can we watch You Know What? There we go, 3 hours, 3 minutes and 13 seconds. I caught up to chat for the first time of the night, yeah. And over on YouTube, though, there's a couple more comments. Dermo said, speaking of leaving, I'll head bye, Jack, bye, lurkers, bye, Dermo. We're almost to the end, but thank you so much for hanging out. And we got so many lurkers over on YouTube. I wish, why? I wish I had looked up, who was it? Was it Crystal last time gave you the instructions to look up on how to do like the, it isn't an actual raid on YouTube, but it's like a thing to do like, hey, go check out this channel instead. Thank you, Toilet Duck. I will save. I think I already did, but I'll save again. But I appreciate all of you lurkers over there on YouTube. Let's see, Jack says, it got annoying that at the end of every case, they would tread on the Apollo taking leave of absence. Yeah, that is true. That is very true. And Jack says, bye, Dermo. Yeah, have a good night, Dermo. Thank you for being here. Let's see, Quicket said, I know, but we still love you, though. Vera said, Faith, the game is about a guy exorcism. So you're exorcising a guy? Or like a demon from a guy? Or getting a guy exorcised out from a house or something? Crystal says, yeah, the redirecting thing on YouTube. Yeah, you gave me the directions. I forgot to look it up. So unfortunately, all of the lurkers over there, I mean, you can still stick around. You can like watch my YouTube shorts and stuff because we will be winding down fairly soon. But first of all, let me give you guys all the rundown on the channel stuff here. And that'll give me a chance to like also check out the raid suggestions we collected earlier and everything like that. But to give you the rundown, we stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We are currently alternating between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor Refantasio. That's this great JRPG from the makers of Persona. My Persona TikToks have been kind of popping off lately, so if there's people that want to check that out, that would be a good game to go see it, and I'm kind of low-key worried about what's going to happen when I get past the Persona clips. I still got some episode, I guess, ones to post, but I posted the end of the main game today. Also, I checked Weedle. Weedle is offline, but Weedle's hosting me right now. And I don't think Weedle even raided, but that's so nice of Weedle, because I see there. Oh, no, it's just because it's a suggested channel. It just says, well, not a Weedle is offline. Check out LoganRobo, and that's me. And there's Lang right there. How about that? Okay, so let's go ahead and check out these raid suggestions. That one is offline. This one is doing writing and reading. Oh, but it's looking at, like, bruises. It's kind of gruesome, actually. The other one has, like, a lot more viewers, but maybe we will do that one instead, unless anybody has somebody different. Wait, have we rated this person before? I can't remember. But anyway, also, we should post the link tree, as Crystal posted that in the chat yet. Vera says, the guy exorcising demons only played the first 2 chapters, so shrug. Yeah, there we go. There's the link tree. So Crystal posted a link tree. I will, and Anne already copied it over for me to YouTube. Thank you, Crystal. There's a link tree for both YouTube and Twitch that has all of our social media, including a Discord invite link. No pressure if you don't want to join it, but I post schedules there every Monday, and we have notifications for when we go live. So tomorrow I'll post the schedule. You'll be able to guess what it is for this upcoming week based on what I was telling you just a little bit ago. And yeah, also TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all the good stuff. Queen said, thank you for the very finally lore stream. Oak said, thank you for the very shadow people stream and made me smile. Queen Kitty said, see y'all next time for a final dragon. Nora said, Oak. And there's a schedule. There's our raid message. Over on YouTube, Jack says, I would exercise with a demon and a guy. So it's like the demon is like your sidekick helping out with the exorcisms. I can't think of exorcisms without thinking of Reagan Arataka, the way he would always say exorcise, to make sure that you don't think it's exercise. Okay, so I guess we're gonna do this raid. This option does have the largest number of viewers, but it's the only one that's online that isn't looking at really graphic, gruesome pictures of bruises. It's for like an art and writing stream, or writing and reading, so maybe it's like research, but it's just a little gruesome to look at. And so I don't want you guys to like pop in there and suddenly be like, oh, really gross graphic photos of bruises. Let's see, Nora says to Oak, you know what, in like 5 to 10 minutes. Crystal said, thank you for the very, it has nothing to do with you by Lang stream. Vera said, thank you for the Lang Z says stream. Nora said, thank you for the very Crystal going to burn you with a steak stream. Oak said, good night, everyone, love y'all. Crystal said, don't check Discord. Apparently I can't, so maybe I won't be able to post my schedule next time. And over there on YouTube, Opinion said, good night, all. Yes, good night, everybody. I love and appreciate you. You guys are phenomenal. You're amazing. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Like, it means the world to me. I can never, ever thank you all enough. I mean, there are like perks to doing Twitch stuff, like, you know, getting a few dollars here and there from like subscriptions, but honestly, the best thing is just having you guys here and hanging out with me, and I love you all, and I appreciate you all, and yeah, have a great Monday. I guess what? I found out I get to like sleep in about an extra hour before work tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. And then I'll post the schedule, and then it'll be Tuesday, we're gonna do Metaphor. Thursday, we're gonna pick up where we left off, and finally hear about the SS5 case incident. Enjoy the raid, love and appreciate you all. You all are amazing, you're amazing. Enjoy the raid. See you on Tuesday. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye. Bye-bye. And for those watching the VOD or over on YouTube, oh, because Jack says good night, people. Yes, good night, Jax, as well. Thank you again for hanging out at Metaphor the other day. We might get to story stuff next time, Metaphor. We're also going to fight another dragon. But anyway, for those watching the VOD or over on YouTube, good night as well.